No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm here with the lovely ladies of the Guys We Fucked podcast. How you doing?
Hello, so
Hi.
good.
It's amazing to have you guys in here. I really feel like this podcast has always kind of suffered with gender inequality, being that it's kind of like a rap podcast and like women are underrepresented within rap itself, but also I feel like I've kind of not done a good enough job. So I'm in here today. I feel like you guys might be the most established feminists I've had on here.
Really?
What are you just asking people, like girls you know, to be on the podcast?
Yeah, you just go outside and you're like, you.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, I was like just inviting a lot of people I knew, so it was like a lot of
Makes
porn
sense.
stars and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
Stop bragging, Jesus.
Okay. Oh, I didn't even think of it like that. No, but you know. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes. Take it over
Cat
here.
on the table.
I was thinking about
Pussy
dragging
on
them up
the
here.
table.
We might get
Pussy
demonetized
on the
for that butthole.
table.
Oh, this
Jeez.
is awesome.
Get that butthole in that shot, pussy.
You know, we actually
Yeah.
bleached his asshole.
Oh.
Why?
It was really cruel and fucked up.
Why did he need that done?
We just thought that he had an
Sorry, your
ugly
asshole
butthole, and we
got
just wanted to
bleached.
work on it.
Everyone
a
has
little
an ugly butthole.
bit. You
Did
really
it
believe
hurt?
that?
Mine's not ugly.
I mean,
at
mine's
all.
beautiful, but yours is probably ugly. I don't know. Like, they're buttholes.
You familiar with the whole butt bleaching thing in general?
Yes,
I
porn
watched an
stars do it.
instructional video on YouTube about it.
What did you learn?
That it's a gel. It's not like literal bleach. They're
I
putting like
knew
a
that.
paste. Oh my God, the cat just got scared.
Did not like that at all.
You take your Clorox, you put it in a little cup, and you put
Right.
it inside your asshole.
Because I'm that kind of guy who hasn't like thought past the idea that like bleach could only be this liquid that you do laundry with.
Wait,
Right.
did you use the gel on the cat?
Okay, I'm gonna admit it. I was
think
just
you might have
kidding
used
about that.
Clorox.
Oh,
Okay.
you were really committed to that bit.
You're a
Oh.
really good actor. Did you do the Meisner technique? Did
What
you
is that?
study that? It's just
No,
an
it was
acting technique.
Stanislavski. His butthole was bleached, and then he
You're right.
remembered the time that his butthole was
Right.
bleached.
Wait, what?
Sorry, it's Stanislavski.
What is that?
Like method and like.
Okay, see, I know nothing about acting, and my comedy knowledge is very limited, so that might be something I could discuss with you guys as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll knowledge you.
Not to mention like your own story and the story of your podcast, but I feel like maybe you guys have talked about that a lot today, right? And I've actually
That's
discussed
okay.
I've discussed
But
this
not
with
with
you
you.
on the vlog, and it's been like you guys just are so used to doing this monologue. You're like jumping back and forth, like telling who you are.
We have twin language. It's like we can communicate. Sometimes we've said the same sentence at the same time, and it's very scary.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that you guys didn't just do that, like, and we finish each other's sentences. Ha ha ha.
Oh, that's
you know
hacky
that?
shit.
That's so bad, right?
Well, I mean, that would have been corny. We're not going to do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
like-
would have been
like
funny in like
funny.
1995, probably, right?
Total
Maybe
1995
then.
humor. That's what I was thinking.
Or like
guys-
I was more 87. That was an 87
Really?
joke. Yeah.
Oh my God! See, I'm so ignorant. Yeah,
I made that up.
Are you guys that knowledgeable about comedy that you
No.
can sort of state like the year that certain joke
Oh,
formats
Not
were
at
popular?
all.
No,
fuck that shit. If you
Okay.
do that, you're probably a horrible comedian because
But-
you spend too much time doing that.
you probably know like dude comics who are that like autistic and deranged that they like could tell you that kind of information.
yeah,
probably,
they like
right?
retain everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Autistic people are fucking smart.
Yeah, I feel like I got a little bit of that. Like if I were to look at my chart, there's probably like
you probably have like a Asperger's. I doubt you're autistic and just don't know it.
You don't think so? Is that a compliment?
I mean, Asperger's is on
I
the
don't
spectrum,
know.
but
Right. Do you guys what personality disorders do you guys think that you're primarily dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
Anxiety.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not every single. Well, yeah, anxiety every day.
well, I mean, is that a personality? I have obsessive compulsive disorder.
I guess it's not
It's not
personality.
a personality though. It's
My
like mental
personality.
health.
I'm suffering from the fact that my personality is great,
Mine's
and
narcissism.
everyone just wants to talk to me all the time. I
Everyone
don't-
wants to talk to you all the time, and that makes you feel anxiety.
Not
I
anxiety.
guess I feel the same way.
No, it does because I'm a people pleaser.
Oh,
so that
okay.
does make me feel anxiety. And I feel like when there's like a 20-minute period that goes by during my day in which I'm not talking, it's rare.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have that? What do you have nights alone, or is that something that doesn't
No.
really work out for you?
Well, I live with my boyfriend.
I know.
So I don't, no. Sometimes he'll go to bed before me, though, and I'm upstairs, like, doing my thing. And I consider that a night alone.
Humble brag that you live in a 2-story apartment in New York, in Manhattan.
Oh, no,
It's
not
not-
even
people
humble at
always
all.
say
I'm rich,
two-story.
motherfucker.
You guys
I'm
probably
like
are
rich as
rich, so you have a
shit.
lot of ads on your podcast.
It's not 2 stories. A story is an actual unit of measurement. It's a duplex.
Yeah,
Okay.
duplex.
A story would be insane. That would be Donald Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know who Leo Cohen is?
Oh, I worked with him. Steven worked at Def Jam, and he worked for Lior. I
There you
actually
go.
met Lior because we showed him a couple of properties when I was assistant to a real estate broker. I like him a lot. He's a G.
See,
Goddamn.
well, I'm going to let you down a little. I've
I
never
don't
met
care.
him, but I did go to his house downtown New York, and it was like 6 stories.
Was it on Leonard Street?
I forget, but it didn't look like it was all going to be one person's house, and then you get in there and you realize, holy shit, this is all one house.
Oh yeah.
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 So are you guys rich? What's up with that?
No, I mean, I think I'm rich only because my whole life I have had negative $10 in my bank account, and when that happens every week, they take out $35 more because you're not supposed to have negative money, which
Right.
I get it.
Counterproductive, though.
Yeah, I know, right? But then, so I think I'm rich.
Right. That's kind of how I feel too.
So probably to a rich like Leo Cohen probably thinks I'm poor.
Exactly.
But I only care what I think.
Right.
And I have enough money to order Seamless, and that to me is all I need.
Yeah.
Right. I think everyone thinks we're more rich than we are just because a lot of people know our podcast. I mean, yeah, we're doing a lot better.
Right.
I can buy things. I
not
was never able to
rich.
do that. I didn't know what that was like to
Right.
like buy a thing, like buy a ring or even like a $5 ring. I'm like, well, I can just buy it without
To
stressing.
buy things for pleasure, I think, is the key. Like, I would only
Yeah.
buy things out of necessity, and to be able to not look at the price tag of like a pair of shoes, as long as you're not in Gucci or Prada, and just buy them.
I'm wearing Gucci shoes right now. I
Very
just want
nice.
to throw that out there.
Oh,
And you've
thank
offended
you.
me.
Thank you. Well, I mean, how did I offend you? That's just
You're right.
very
Thank you for
expensive.
complimenting my wealth.
I was like, you
You're right, I
offended
am
me if
rich.
you don't know that Gucci shoes are expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive, but at the same time, like I know all kinds of poor people who wear fucking Gucci belts and shoes
Really?
and stuff.
But
just
that's why
because
they're poor.
That's a big part of it, and it's just like it's priorities. Like you could save up $500 for shoes if you believe that the only way that you're ever going to get laid is by wearing $500 shoes.
I feel like in LA people do that with cars.
Right.
Like my car is a fucking a BMW, a Maserati, some crazy car, but then my house is a shack.
Right.
You know?
See, that's really interesting because now I'm in the state of mind where I just assume that everybody in LA is rich.
What? They're not.
I know.
I passed by a couple who weren't.
Yeah.
A couple non-rich people.
Oh, like
Sorry
the
to break it to
homeless
you.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, or just, you could tell, I think.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think there's a large group of people who either are rich or aspire to one day be rich. So it's like kind of like a fake it till you make it mentality.
But it's weird. You like drive a couple miles this way to Beverly Hills, and it's all of a sudden everybody's got like a $100,000 car.
That is
and
correct.
It's
yes.
wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love driving through Beverly Hills. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I try and look in people's houses. I love doing that. And man, those people, I want to hang out in one of those
You want
houses.
to just walk in their house and just sort of sit down on the couch.
See what happens. You
Yeah.
can call the cops. You can push me out. What are you
Call
going
the
to do,
cops. What,
motherfucker?
you gonna hit a girl? Fuck
I'm a
you.
girl.
Yeah.
You can't hit me. You can't touch me. It's assault.
Yeah.
I entered your home. Yes.
You know what's fucked up is that you guys are going to be interviewed by another bald man within the next 48 hours, Joe Rogan. And what are you
Yeah.
going to talk about with him that's going to be different than when you talk about me?
Well, I mean, he's going to be leading the interview. It's going
it's
on
not
other
really up
people's
to you.
podcasts. Yeah,
I was
going
like,
on
we
other
don't
people's
know.
podcasts is like so much fun for us because we get asked questions
Right.
and there's no pressure to like lead, and that's just a blessing.
If every podcast was as relaxed for me as interviewing you guys, where I didn't feel any sort of like, need to do huge amounts of research and stuff, because I know you guys are good conversationalists. I know it's going to be natural. You're
Oh, I felt like you
comedians. I
weren't
know it's
scared
going to
of
be funny.
physical assault.
Yeah, you're not gonna hit me or maim me
Or
or
like
shank
you don't
me.
have to act cool in front of us.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were
no,
going.
no. Although I guess,
But thank you for not going there.
I suppose that is an important part of it too, is that you're friends with my girlfriend. So it's not like I don't think that you guys are judging me as a potential mate.
Oh,
Which is
true,
nice.
True,
It's nice to
yeah.
not feel objectified for once this week.
Is
you get
everyone trying to
objective-
fuck you?
Yeah.
Yo,
Every
out of
woman
22.
I meet.
My condolences.
I'm just kidding.
Really, every woman is trying to fuck you?
No, not at all.
And when a woman is trying to fuck you, how does she let you know?
I'm going to be honest with you. Every girl I meet is a fan of my girlfriend now. So
Then,
there's a
as
whole,
they should be.
There's a whole new dynamic for me.
Well, they want to fuck you both then?
Yeah, I was gonna say threesome.
Because if you talk about three ways public, that's the thing.
She gets
I almost
so
regret talking
many
about the
DMs.
three ways.
Oh, because you've talked about it too, yeah.
Everyone, and one time I did do it with a fan.
We're in a
with
similar
fan.
club. Oh, with a fan, really?
She was awesome, babe.
Really?
And like a cool human being. And we like went out beforehand for, to a couple places. But that happened over a year ago. And I didn't talk about it for a long time because I didn't want anybody to get the idea. But people still do. And they're like, you ever want to fuck everyone?
So weird. All women or men as well?
Women,
Your
mostly.
audience is like almost all women or no?
No.
It's 50-50, but
Really?
who comes out to
Yeah,
live
the people who
shows,
come out to the
chicks.
shows are mostly
But like
women.
hot chicks. It's crazy.
Really?
It's so like hot, single. Every time we have a show at the Comedy Store tomorrow night, and every time we do the waiters are primarily male, and they're always like, you can come back anytime you want, man. Your audience is the shit. I'm like, you just got a lot of pussy last time.
Yeah, we help a
Right.
lot of other people get laid.
which is
Really?
great.
You guys are dick facilitators.
Yeah,
in a
we're
way,
dick fairies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there like a Reddit thing about your podcast or
There's
anything
a
like that?
lot of Reddit things.
Yeah,
about
there's a
us.
Reddit thread. My boyfriend's very big on Reddit, and he constantly
He runs
updates
it?
me on it.
No, he is big on Reddit, meaning he's a big deal on Reddit.
I would love if he was like the moderator of it and he was controlling the narrative of you guys. That
Oh
would
no,
be
he
so
was
cool.
the moderator of a group, but not ours. I mean, God knows what he's a moderator.
What is
of.
his time on Reddit spent on?
A lot of like rabbit hole conspiracy theories.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Oh
This
wait.
is so interesting.
Oh wait. He texted me to alert me that Joe Rogan.
I thought it was gonna be about me.
No. But
Alert me.
I
alert
hate when
early
shit
with
isn't
me.
about me.
Oh,
Don't you?
I know, right? That's
it
what
really
I'm saying.
fucking sucks.
Every time someone starts a conversation and I'm not the focus of it, I'm like, really?
Honestly, me too, though. Like,
Which is
truly,
weird as a podcaster.
no, he wanted to alert me about that Joe Rogan was talking about ElsaGate, which he had already told me about.
Okay.
Do you know ElsaGate? The
the
weird.
YouTube thing where there's people making weird
Animations.
porn type things out of children's cartoons and getting them on the kids app.
Yeah, that I have to research it more, but yeah, in a nutshell, yeah. And I watched like Joe Rogan posted something about it earlier, and James was so excited. He's like, "This is what I've been talking to you about," and I was like, "I don't know, Joe Rogan. Do not make James look on Reddit more than he already does."
So you're not a flat earther?
a who?
A flat earth truther? Because that's
Oh,
what
you think
I thought you were going to say.
no,
Your
no,
boyfriend did that, and I was going to be
No.
like, "Oh God, we need an intervention because you should not be dating someone who believes stuff like that." Probably.
No, like for instance, we
the
watched.
ElsaGate thing is
It's
real.
such an
Yeah,
easily
That's a
easy
factual
thing to
thing.
disprove, though. It's like
Yeah.
Earth isn't flat. Done.
It's like-
Next.
Yeah, it's like being like a Holocaust denier or whatever.
But those people just want to piss everyone off.
Yeah, but-
I really, truly think that's what's behind
But
it.
I think a lot of them probably are fully convinced to the point where they really believe it. Because once you like buy into an
can
idea,
convince
you're kind of
yourself.
stuck with it.
Like when
until-
OJ convinced himself that he didn't do
wasn't
it.
a killer. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's his life like?
I
You know,
want to know so
in
bad.
that head, because there's
You
so much
would
that's never come
You should
out.
interview him.
Well, I agree. I think I should interview all famous murderers and just sort of
Yeah.
get in there, turn over the footage to the FBI,
Yeah.
book them, buddy.
You could get him to talk and be like, "Oh, Adam's cool. He's like on my side," and then they could forget they're talking on the microphone because you're such a good conversationalist. And then boom, they admit it.
Not
I
to
killed
mention, I'll
Nicole.
pass them a backwood. They just get all, start ratting themselves out.
Show me. I think we just figured out how to solve crime.
A lot of people hate on me and say that I'm like the feds because I'll be talking to rappers who only rap about selling drugs, doing drugs, shooting guns, etc. And then I ask them about
Doing
those topics.
charity work.
Charity work sometimes
I
is
only
a
rap
popular
about
thing.
sucking dick.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you rapped?
No.
Either of you?
I mean, I have, but
I mean,
for fun.
jokingly, we have a rap video where we technically rapped, but I mean, I
mean, I
wouldn't-
love rap.
Would not
I love
call
hip-hop.
it rapping.
But did you make like a rap video, like a real rap song and video for comedy's
Technically,
sake?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for comedy's sake, absolutely.
Right.
I just want to be very clear that it was a comedic attempt at rapping.
I rapped about shitting in bitches' purses if they eat my expensive food.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody out there watching this is gonna be like, "Oh, those fucking wannabe rappers."
Yeah, I don't want to be a rapper.
Well, I
at
mean, we
all.
never like
That's
put
false.
rapper in our Twitter bio or anything like that. It wasn't like comedian, author, rapper.
Okay, because you notice this dynamic that's unfolding where all these famous YouTubers and stuff who really are just like a new
The
shape
water
of
boy is here.
comedian. Oh, hello,
You
Alfredo.
didn't get hit by a car.
Shout out Smart Water. We're not even going to rip the labels off these. We're just going to rock with it. Big
Nice.
free promo for everyone.
No one was aware of Smart Water before. They're like, thank God Adam told
Oh,
us.
'cause
thank
who's
God.
Jennifer Aniston anyway?
We should blur them out, though. What the fuck was I talking
Just
about?
to be spiteful.
Rapper. A
Oh,
lot of
right.
YouTubers.
All
say
the
they're-
YouTubers. What's the difference between a YouTuber and a comedian first? Let's start with that. Do you feel like there's
There's a
cultural
I was going to
differences?
say being funny, but that's rude.
But a lot of them,
No,
like, they're
I
trying to be
stand by
funny,
that.
right? But so let's
I'm
contextualize
sorry.
what the
Well,
difference
no.
is.
Let me get. You cannot being funny on a fucking YouTube video and being funny on stage in front of hundreds of strangers. Two different things.
Completely. But let's contextualize what the difference is. What's the difference between you and Jake Paul?
we know who we are.
I don't have a dick. Yeah, I'm comfortable with myself and I know
We
my
know who
identity.
we
No, I mean, I
are.
literally don't know who Jake Paul is. Is my answer.
I thought you were saying Jake Paul is having identity issues. You know who he
might
is?
be.
He might be.
Oh, okay. If you don't know, that's
is he
good.
the guy that got in trouble for being loud?
Yes, the
And
blonde.
the neighbors. Oh,
the
I
weirdo
and I
guy,
mean,
yeah.
look, he might not be a piece of shit, but I looked at his photo and I was like, "Who the fuck is this little twat?"
Doesn't he
But
have like
might be a
9
nice
million
person.
followers, though?
He, I think, has 15 million
And
subscribers on
that's
YouTube
an
or something.
impressive feat.
Yeah.
And it's
It's-
a feat that is going to make you mad rich. So he did something right.
Yeah.
He hit a nerve.
Well, I mean,
Not
we've
a
been
really
in-
dense nerve, but that's okay.
We've been in LA for like 30 hours, and this is literally the second time I've heard that name. So
Right.
he's doing something right.
He's very
Yes,
famous.
of course.
But
And
he
that's
is kind
awesome.
of a cunt.
I mean, if I met him, I'd be like, "Who are you? Do you work at Starbucks?" I don't know. I don't know.
You feel like you do that a lot. I was at like a YouTuber party last night, and that was definitely the vibe. And there was a lot of EDM people there too. So this is like two worlds I don't know shit about.
YouTuber and EDM. Whoa.
Yeah, you were talking about that before we went on the air, and I was just like, I can't see you being at a YouTuber party. Only
I feel like
because
you'd hate that shit.
You seem too cool to be at a YouTube party.
Exactly, and I would
your
bring the
coolness is
rappers
real.
and the weed, and then we're like hanging out, and then like, but people don't talk to us because they're like weird and scared. Well, you know Elijah
Well, you
Daniel.
are scary looking.
You know Elijah Daniel?
No.
Oh, well, he's a homosexual male that my girlfriend is very good friends with, and he's a very popular YouTuber. You ever heard Christine Sedelko? See, you guys are
These are just a
so
lot of
Manhattan.
YouTube names.
I don't, yeah, and it's not that I don't
That's totally
respect
okay.
YouTubers. I kind of laugh at, like, roll my eyes a little bit internally, but also at the same time, we're podcasters. That's how we
Right.
got big. So what's the difference?
People laugh at us for
Yeah.
sure.
That-
That to
people,
me
though.
is the problem. And I'm just going to give you guys advice from a business standpoint. I'm going to mansplain for a second here. Yeah.
Thank you.
I know
we
you're
were
waiting for this.
confused.
Okay. I think you guys need to work on your YouTube presence. I think it's a
You're
huge
absolutely
platform
right.
that you guys
Yeah.
should be embracing.
And you can make a shitload of money on it, and people are dying to see our faces more. The people who listen to the podcast anyway
Exactly.
are like, do videos, and we never do. So, yeah.
Because I remember one of the earlier
all about
episodes I
money,
listened
but
to from you guys was the Andy Dick interview before I interviewed Andy and before
Mm-hmm.
you guys were friends with my girl. And that was what I had to do is like after I listened to it, I'm like, they're dope, but I need to like look at them. I need to like know what they look like because
Yeah.
there's a gap
That's
in my
part of
mind.
it. That's
yeah.
well, it's part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, our touring. Well, I should have to ask you this off air, but our touring video from our old touring show. I feel like we should put that on YouTube.
We could put that on.
It's like a good YouTube video, a little sketch.
Whatever, yeah. I've noticed Andrew Schultz really going hard the YouTube side of things, which
Mm-hmm.
previously him and Charlamagne were just doing the podcast thing, and I think it's doing pretty well for
I
him.
like because when we started out doing our podcast, I didn't really know podcasts made money, and we didn't think about it that way at all.
What
and so,
year are we talking that you started?
4 years ago.
Okay.
And so we had to have the attitude of like, we don't really when you're creative, when you're a comedian especially, we don't really think about what's going to make money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess that is smart.
But also, I mean, the reason we don't and haven't put it on video is because we get intimate answers from people because a camera is not in their face.
and they could say their name's Matt when their name's really Jake
it,
Paul.
It changes things when you have a camera, and people also, especially comedians, try to be extra funny when there's a camera in their face, the way that they wouldn't if there's kind of just a
But are you
microphone.
thinking about that camera?
Not at
Are you
all.
conscious
I
of it?
forgot it was there.
We're not, but we have a
You're professionals,
podcast,
yeah.
so it's a little different. Also,
We forget that we're on microphones a lot of the time.
yeah, YouTube comments for women and YouTube comments for men, and
very
I'm
good
just
point.
sure you know from Lena, are very, very different. And it's
Different
like
worlds.
it's like how much money is it worth it to have negativity in your
You
life
can disable
all the time?
comments. You can
Yeah.
disable comments.
Yeah, but that I mean, when you disable comments, that's like saying I expect bad comments.
Just get a
Yeah,
mod.
but
Just
I
get some
think-
kid to sort of hide the users who are saying
But
terrible
I think
things.
it's,
Or something.
I think it more so says like when you disable your Instagram comments, it's like I don't give a fuck what you think. This is my thing. If you want to watch it,
Oh well,
great.
that's my
I don't give
personal
a fuck.
Instagram. It's not like I'm saying like I'm not. That's not because that's not a forum for talent. Really, it's just
Right.
like showing your life. It's kind of like I made a window in my life and I'm letting you look in it. Whereas YouTube is like I'm putting my talent up here, and then you, as someone who knows nothing about my art form, is going to then give your 2 cents and make me want to come to your house and
It's called
murder
internet
you.
explain.
Yeah, YouTube comments are a lot more toxic than like SoundCloud comments.
Have you ever gotten a yes.
True.
Have you ever gotten a comment that you think about the negative one that you're like butthurt
That
about? And you're like,
haunts you.
I really shouldn't be that, but that really bothered
Ghost
me.
of
No,
comment past.
The things about me never bother me, but the things about my girlfriend really bother
Oh,
me because
yeah.
it's just like I know that she's very sensitive and I'm not. So it's
Yeah.
like, and the mean stuff about her body and stuff. I'm just like, ugh.
How
like,
can
this
you
is
say anything
terrible,
mean
yeah.
about that woman's body?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I was
Terrible.
You
like-
really hate yourself if that's what you're doing.
I know. I was like, we've seen it in real life. I've seen it nude in photos. I mean,
Instagram.
I've seen a lot of it.
Yeah.
Are we doing this?
She's often nude. Yeah. No, it's
so
just like, you know,
cool.
and you know what? The internet really does suck because my friend just died the other day, and then, like he was
I'm
like
sorry.
a pretty famous rapper, and
Pete.
oh yeah,
Oh
Lil
yeah,
Peep.
actually, you're the reason I knew about
Oh,
that.
really?
I
Okay.
was following you.
Yeah, and dude, like like people are so heartless when a famous person dies, and like in my
They
mind,
are.
I was not like, oh, he's that famous that I'm gonna have to read like thousands
he's
of terrible things about him.
Very famous, apparently, because a lot of it, that got coverage. A lot of famous people,
Yeah.
famous artists were mourning that.
Yeah, I mean, he was sort of at like a level, like he was at like 850,000 Instagram followers. So he was sort of like, to me, it's like he just hadn't had that one song that was going to explode
Yeah,
him.
he was on the
Not
cusp.
yet. and
Yeah,
that's-
I mean, he
yeah.
had such a crazy underground following, but if he had just had a song at that moment that had just like exploded, then it would have been very different in terms of how well he was known. But all those like DJs and rappers, everybody knew him, you know?
Yeah.
That was kind of rough.
That way.
I
Yeah,
did
it
see one
sucks.
tweet, if it makes you feel any better, that kind of used his death as to open the conversation about mental health a little bit more. So that was positive.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
And drug use. So that's what I
Oh,
really
'cause that
hope
was
is
the
the
cause
thing
of-
that kind of comes from it. Yeah.
Well, they were kind of saying, like, they were kind of angry that they were using his death as just to, you know, kind of like narc people, instead saying, well, obviously people who are struggling with some mental illness or depression tend to go to drugs and tend to go to alcohol. So I thought that was like, I'm like, oh, that's
Good conversation to be having. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been weird. Do you guys have suffered through any deaths we could talk about that have taken place recently?
Recently,
Some cheery topics.
I mean,
my mom tried to commit suicide when I was on the phone with her when the day before I moved away to college.
Oh, so we're talking a while back.
Yeah, it was a while back. She didn't do it though.
She tried
because
to.
she fell before she could jump in front of a train.
What was happening in her life that this happened?
She was on medication. She's bipolar, but the medication she was on, she's been through so many types of meds.
Right.
Did the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So it made her crazy, like psychotic almost. And she was nervous that I was going off to college. And so with the medication, she just filled up a glass of vodka and like started walking down the road. And I'm like, what? Wait, what are you doing? And we
What
had to
the
look.
fuck?
Yeah, and I was on the phone with her. Yeah,
That's terrifying.
and we took her to the ER and stuff. But
Has
yeah,
her
she didn't die,
relationship with drugs changed how you think about using drugs to deal with
No, because she never does them. She never drinks. That's why I knew when she had that vodka, I'm like, that's dark. That's not
wow.
good. She doesn't not drink because she doesn't. She's an alcoholic, but she just doesn't really like alcohol that much.
Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
So.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
suicide.
fun light story.
But suicide is important because we obviously we
Comics,
co-host
yeah.
but we co-host a sex podcast, so we really for a while tried to keep it just on the sex, relationships, kind of feminism topics. But then going on, this will be the second anniversary this New Year's ago. A family friend of mine who was a teenager took her own life on New Year's.
barely a teenager.
On New Year's, super young, and I mean, it was just so heartbreaking. And then when we were doing the and I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it because I was like, I don't want to make someone's death about me in some way, because it certainly wasn't. I, in fact, had never even met her. She's a family friend in that my brother had a really close connection with her. And I just decided that I had to talk about it because I couldn't stop thinking about it, really. And we got so many emails about people who had either thought about committing suicide or who knew someone who committed suicide and were having such a really difficult time dealing with it. And people said they kind of played the intro where we discussed it for their classroom. Just like it's something that, like sex, is not really talked about enough and in an intelligent way.
Right.
It just feels like something that like everyone knows it happens, but it's taboo. And it's like, well, if we talked about it more, maybe it wouldn't happen so much.
Right. You guys probably constantly get to have that positive feedback of people telling you that their attitudes on sex have been changed and improved through your work, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the best part is when it's from guys who were basically sexually assaulting people, and then they didn't realize they were doing anything wrong.
Really?
And then, and they would hear somebody's story from an interview we would do, and they would say, we've had a couple emails that the guy said, like, I didn't even think about the other person and what it would do to them and where they were coming from and how they would feel. Like they just didn't even consider it. And so they would say, after hearing your interview with so-and-so, and she couldn't even talk about that part. She didn't want to go there. I was like, oh shit, maybe there are a lot of effects of sexual assault that stay with the person.
Yeah. Do you think, like, when you hear, okay, so we're in this crazy, it's been a wild couple of weeks.
Yeah.
For people getting accused and, largely
Outed,
people who are
yeah.
blatantly guilty and admit it right away.
Yeah.
So, that's been going on a lot. And in the comedic realm, probably nowhere more than there, or I guess in Hollywood as well.
Louis, yeah.
Yeah. How's all that been? Has anyone been called out that you were close to?
No, we talked about the Louis stuff a couple weeks before that, I think 2, and we had known about it for years.
Well,
and
we had also mentioned it before that too.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like people were reminding us on day of, they're like, you and Gawker were the first people to mention it, and we had mentioned it months ago.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because when the Harvey Weinstein shit happened, before we recorded the intro, and Corinne's friend is the reporter who wrote the timeline detailing every single sexual assault, and she read every word of it, and it was exhausting emotionally, and And
very it took like 30 minutes.
30 minutes to read.
Very long.
And I asked Corinne before we started recording, I was like, I want to call out Louis C.K. because I think I want to talk about it more than just glossing over it.
And you never had like a personal relationship with him or
no,
worked with him or
met
anything?
him and stuff, but he didn't, no. But we always knew. The whole comedy, so I'm like, when is he going to get out?
I knew.
Like,
I barely even know who the guy is, and I had read about it online.
When is
Everyone in
somebody
the industry knew,
going to give a shit enough to write about it and have it take off? Because Gawker did write about it in 2015, and no one really gave a shit. Same with the Cosby shit. Hannibal Buress, who's I'm friends with, he had been doing that bit about Cosby for a while, and then someone in his show in like Philadelphia or whatever filmed the bit, put it on YouTube, and all of a sudden the media had a narrative. Hannibal Buress accuses Bill Cosby of being a rapist. Bill Cosby was always a rapist, and Hannibal was making fun of the fact that, like, guess no one gives a shit, but, like, he's a rapist.
Tina Fey had also been talking about that pretty regularly.
It's such a weird thing that happens where everybody can know, but then once somebody makes something that can go viral or be very mainstream, where everybody knows that everybody else knows, then all of a sudden it stops being like a little huddled conversation, and it becomes out there in the open for everyone.
In your face. And it's exciting. I like, one of the things I learned about coasting guys we fucked is like 85% of everybody has been sexually assaulted. I didn't know it was that common. And so I've always known what a fucking epidemic it is, and it drives me insane. But now I feel like people, at least in America, are like getting driven insane in a similar way, in which they're always being faced with the news headlines of so-and-so touch so-and-so, and it's exhausting. And so maybe we'll all get so exhausted that we'll include it in the conversation when people are kids. We'll talk about it early.
Yeah, and I think it's also because people have like a very dramatic definition of what sexual assault is. They think it's like some guy coming up and rubbing his dick all over your face. But sexual assault is groping. Sexual assault is grabbing your ass if you don't want it to be grabbed. It is having an erection and rubbing against someone on public transportation. Like, mostly every woman was sexually assaulted, and it's like you almost don't even want to talk about it because you don't want to identify as someone who is sexually assaulted
or the assaulted girl.
Because you're biting off a lot for yourself socially once you decide that you want to take that on, because you've got to see it the whole way through, more or less.
Sometimes it even might change the way you think about yourself, and no one wants that's time consuming.
And it doesn't. Sexual assault does not identify you, but when you publicly come out and talk about it, that's what people are going to associate with you, and that's fucking annoying because there's a lot of things in a person's life who's been sexually assaulted that they would much rather talk about and focus on.
Right. Yeah.
And you can't control the narrative when that's the case.
I have, even within like our small circle of friends, there's a guy I know who's been on the podcast multiple times, just kind of comedian type guy, makes memes, that sort of thing. Not on stage.
Meme
See,
maker.
to me,
like
comedian
Santa.
usually like is just like someone online who's being funny, and stand up is just one way of conveying
well,
that.
the fat
It's
Jewish,
the best way,
like
but yeah,
that should count.
Well,
There's
it's
a lot of
definitely the
accounts.
most like well known and high profile, or like high pressure.
Is it the fat Jew? The fat
No,
Jewish
no. It's a guy I know who his girlfriend was raped by or drugged and raped by like a DJ or something.
Jesus.
It comes out that her and her friend come out with this information about this DJ and him as well, and he's talking about it on Twitter and stuff, which is like kind of interesting to see how it panned out, because I'm like looking at his position like that's a crazy thing to have to deal with publicly, but he was supporting his girlfriend through the whole thing, and it comes out this guy gets dropped by his label and everything. He's stripped from all these festivals you're supposed to play and everything, and then the other day it comes out $5 million lawsuit against the two girls and the boyfriend for what they came out and said about him.
Because
So
they
I'm
didn't
like,
say allegedly. That's been happening.
And that was just wild for me to see, because the whole time I'm thinking like, that's so brave of you that you came out and did it. I didn't even think about the risks they were putting themselves in legally.
There's
in that way.
a comedian who's a nobody. He's truly a nobody in New York City, and he like co-hosted like one show. Like he calls himself a comedian, but he hasn't earned his chops yet, and never will.
Well,
There's a certain
he's a
rank
rapist.
that you get.
Not funny.
Okay.
Well, he's a rapist,
Yeah.
and he's not funny at all. And people were talking about it in the New York City comedy community on their Facebooks, and one of the girls got served papers.
Really?
She got sued, and my best friend is a lawyer, and the second I posted a status about it, she texted me and she goes, "Krystyna, you need to add the word allegedly because you will get sued."
Really?
And I was like, "Fuck, good to know."
That's so crazy. But it's weird too, because it's like, in that situation, he might not be famous enough that it would be this big viral news story, which is probably the only thing that would keep someone from being effectively sued in that situation, right?
Yep. Yeah, because if no one gives a shit, why would I sue you? You know, if it didn't make waves.
Well, he was saying that he was like, kicked out of the comedy community, lost his home, lost his girlfriend,
But no
and
one
all these
cared
things
about
are
him to
true.
begin with.
But what's also true
know,
is that
awkward.
he allegedly raped many people, including 2 friends. And one of whom personally
Drugged him, right?
contacted me and told me in detail what happened. So,
Yeah, we had this. Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
That's like the guy-
He allegedly drugged her, and then he allegedly raped her while she was sleeping on the couch.
Well, you didn't even say his name, so technically you could just.
I mean, the only
everyone
reason I'm not
would
is
know
I don't
who
want
it
to give him
was,
credit.
though. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, but I just feel like
Okay,
he
but
doesn't deserve anything.
this is one thing I'm really interested in that I was reading about too. Is like I was reading some article that was about we should be very cautious of people, especially people on the conservative side, weaponizing these types of allegations. And when you look at like what happened with Al Franken in a lot of ways, that was like a really heavily politicized accusation.
Of course it
And I'm
was.
not denying they did something wrong.
No,
It
it's
was pretty
fucked up.
blatant from the photo and everything. But in a lot of ways, they're taking the same mentality and using it against and weaponizing. I think is a good word
Trump
for it.
tweeted about him, I'm
Exactly,
like, you
yes.
motherfucking pussy grabbing piece of shit, mama's boy, little bitch.
Well, he has a laundry list besides the pussy grabbing of
I
things that
know.
he's done. Walking into rooms where ladies were changing.
Teenagers.
Dozens of
Knew.
testimonies
saying to
about
a teenage
that.
girl, you're going to be my girlfriend one day when you get older or whatever. Fuck you. And the thing is, though, the Al Franken thing, that photo, and I read the article about what happened. He got butthurt because a hot model didn't want to make out with him or didn't want to participate in a sketch in which she had to kiss him. And he got butthurt and he acted like a piece of shit about it. And he took a really humiliating photo.
Yeah.
And I really like Al Franken. I think he's a really good senator. But that was also a dick move. But he can be
Right.
both things. And I think the important part that needs to come out about it is we need to discuss, like, the one thing, it feels like every man is like terrified right now, at least in America. But I'm at least glad. The only thing I want guys to get out of it is going forward, have this in your head that this
Right.
happens a lot. And then I think it won't happen much
Right.
after that.
Are you terrified right now?
I think about a lot of the blackout drunk sex that I've had in my life, and I'm just like, I really hope everybody was on the same page in that regard. You
Yeah,
know,
but
it
so
seemed
do-
good
so
at
do
the time.
I.
I never had like a complaint, but you know.
Yeah. But there's been instances where I'm like, ooh, I don't really black out that much, but or I black out at all, really. But like I've come on to people hard when I'm drunk,
Right.
and we would eventually have sex, and I'm like, I didn't force myself on you, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I never really asked that. But you've blacked out before.
Yeah, I've asked myself that because I'm on the podcast. I was even like, have I raped people? I don't and also it's like when you certainly never sober, but then it's like, what is this gray area? And then I was particularly nervous about this guy, Craig Mahoney, who I like talk about on the podcast all the time. He's been a guest on the podcast.
We call him Craig Mahoney.
He's the guy I fucked, Craig Mahoney, and then he was like, Corinne, no, do not worry. You did not even close to do that.
So it's like good to know.
But
But
it's also like with alcohol, it's very confusing because sometimes it's like, well, I was drunk, but she was drunker, and it's like, we have to do blood tests now? Are we breathalyzing people?
Right.
Like how do you, and it's like, are you expected to know just how drunk someone is, especially someone that you don't know that well? I can have a full conversation that's completely fluid when I'm blackout drunk. It's not everyone's responsibility to know that about me.
There's definitely been times I've had sex with someone and thought it was no big deal, and then later on realized like, oh my god, they were fucking drunk, like more drunk than I was, and that's just like,
Exactly.
but and in every instance I could think of, it was like we were on good enough terms that it didn't matter. But it's like you just think about like, damn, what like, and that like probably over the past 2-3 years is where I've even had that as like a very prevalent thing in my mind, is like you need to be very, very cautious how much the other person's drinking. And when I was 18, I wasn't thinking about that. In 2002,
none of us were.
nobody was. I mean, it's like basic common decency that you would think, but
And
at the
also,
same
like,
time,
who the fuck wants to have sex with someone who's disgustingly drunk? That's not satisfying for either party.
Yeah,
no
that's
one
some
wants to have
weird
sex
shit.
with a giant spaghetti noodle.
yeah, that's
Ugh, and if
gross.
you do, something wrong with you.
Facts. Okay, so I'm just very okay. Let's do this. When did you guys start the podcast, and where were you at in your professional careers at that moment? And what did you think that you were doing when you started the podcast?
We started it 4 years ago. We both had day jobs. Well, I hated mine. I think, Corinne, you were not at the spa yet, right?
Were you doing comedy a lot at this point as well?
stand-up.
though?
I was
Okay.
already at the spa. I loved the spa. I loved my day job. I actually still miss
The
it.
spa.
Yeah, I was a receptionist at a day spa. Shout out
wow.
Oasis Day Spa, New York City.
Oh yeah,
Really
I know that place.
amazing
Yeah.
spa, I gotta
I've never
say.
been there, but I know exactly which one you're
It's
talking
so
about.
good. And then when we started it, we had I was nervous about the name. My parents finding out, and then I was like, no one's gonna listen to this, and oopsies. And where were we at with our careers? Maybe a week later, a month after the podcast came out, like Corinne gave me a Subway sandwich, one of her Subway sandwich coupons, and I cried of joy. So that's where I was at career.
Yeah, we
wise.
weren't making money, but we were doing stand up regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, I had spent the whole year before we started Guys We Fucked doing stand up almost every night. I mean, that was mostly because I was depressed and couldn't go home. But
That
you
was
know,
how you were dealing with it?
yeah,
Your depression?
because I was dealing. It wasn't just random depression. It was depression from the breakup that would then turn out to be the impetus for the podcast. And the only thing that made me feel better, like I didn't drink for a whole year because I think that's a really bad way to handle depression, in my experience. And so I was just like, I can't go home. I'm having trouble sleeping. I can't really eat. All the things that I love to do, I couldn't enjoy. So I was like, I'm just going to consistently talk about it on stage until I feel better about this, or until I figure more out about myself. And I mean, that worked.
Do you think compare the therapeutic element of stand-up versus podcasting? Is there anything therapeutic about the stand-up, or is it too calculated?
For me, stand-up is purely therapeutic, much more so than podcasts.
Really?
The therapeutic part about it to me, though, isn't what I'm talking about. It's like making an audience like laugh so hard they cry.
Like you.
That is the best. Yeah.
Well, you're a people pleaser, so of course you're a
I want to
comedian,
be
right?
liked
Yeah.
1,000%. But
That's what it's
See,
all
it's the
about.
complete opposite for me. I'm not doing it for the audience. at
yeah,
all.
I am.
Do you think that which way is the better way? Which one's
Not
more
doing
effective?
it for the audience. I think.
Okay.
I mean, I want to make them like if I don't make them laugh, it's not working 100%. Like, you know, because like comedians make fun of comics that say I'm just doing it for myself, and like I am, but I have to verbalize my feelings in a way that makes people laugh. Otherwise, I'm failing at my job.
When you're a stand-up comic, you get immediate feedback on how you're doing at all times when you're on stage. So that, you know, if no one's laughing, you got a problem. But I think for me, the people pleaser thing works really well because it finally took me many years to realize I just got to be myself, and that's what's going to make them laugh.
Right.
But being able to do that and control, almost like a conductor, like where the applause break's going to be, and when people are going to lose their shit, and when people are going to like be hanging on my every word, and the silence is going to be so thick you could hear a pin drop. That is so fucking
And that's
cool.
what you're fighting for. That's what you're trying to really engineer, huh?
Yeah. It's fucking fun.
Do you guys have like a very rigid schedule for writing, or is it something that sort of flows?
We're working on a project now that's going to be required like a, you know, almost like a 9 to 5 except like a 9 to 10 p.m.
Writing for yourself or writing for your own?
For a
No, that's
project
for a
that we're
project.
working on.
For
But
writing for myself,
stand-up,
I don't
I'm
have
just-
But a piece of content that's going to be in another format, or
Yeah.
But for stand-up, the only time I used to think I had to sit down and write, and I never did, but that's not how I work. So when I think something's funny or I say something and somebody laughs, I'm like, oh yeah, that could be a joke. I just write it down on my phone.
Okay.
When I go to shows, I'll hammock that in between two bits I know work, so I could play with it and see where it goes.
I'll fluctuate. I mean, I do write all my ideas down as I have them fluidly, but then times, mostly with like a writing partner, like there's a comic who's amazing named Harrison Greenbaum, and we will, you know, once a month take all those ideas that we both wrote in our phones and our notebooks and sit down and have a structured writers meeting
Talk
for
'em out.
several hours
Really?
where we turn them into
Bits.
jokes that will actually work on stage.
That's fucking, yeah. Because comics are really good at like when we say like giving each other a tag. Like I've had a couple comics give me that where they will say after a joke, a lot of my jokes are storytelling ish, and so they'll say, "I thought you were going this way with the joke, and I really think you should bring that back around at the end." I'm like, "Oh fuck yes, oh my god!" And so we kind of help because comics are always thinking about being on and how can I make this better, and is the beat where it needs to be, and so that's so helpful.
Yeah, and to what extent are you toying with like the sheer semantics of your sentences? Like, are you actually getting down and like
Yes.
tinkering with on a word by word basis? I'm really
100%
fascinated by that.
Because that's
yeah.
why I love Twitter. I hate that it's more characters
Yes.
now. I
Oh,
fucking
it's so
hate that.
terrible, right? We
'Cause then
spent
there's
all
more
those
room for
years getting
bullshit.
ready. Yes.
More room for
Or getting
fluffy
used to it, yeah.
bullshit.
I
But,
think in 140 characters now. Twitter has been so helpful in making me a more concise writer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld is kind of the king of using the exact word, and how just because two words are synonyms does not mean they are equally funny.
Because some words have a comedic essence to them, right?
Yeah, like I had a joke, for instance, where I was using breast, and then I was like, oh, no, nipple is much funnier.
Right.
It's more descriptive. I think, it's like the Charles Dickens rule, too. Like, the more descriptive you can get, the funnier it is. How clearly can you paint that picture for the audience?
Right. A lot of times I'll have a funny word or there's a funny word or phrase, and then when I'm composing the tweet, it's just so second nature to me that has to be the banger at the end of it.
Yeah,
which it occurs to me that's probably something you guys go through a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, with joke, I thought that jokes, stand-up comedy was like set up punchline, but then I'm like, oh, we can go in waves and kind of have the emotion of the whole set, not be laughs a minute, but then hitting them at the end with I love jokes where people think it's going to go one way. Like I have a joke,
misdirect
about rape, and then everyone gets so uncomfortable, and it makes me so happy because they hate me in that moment. They're like, I don't fucking like her, and it's perfect because then I go in a totally different direction that they didn't see coming.
So rape's the setup, and then
that's the setup. It's not the punchline at all. And then there's always the second where I say, so that's my rape joke. And then they take a second to realize, oh, and then there's just like Rory's laughter and applause. And it's so rewarding.
It's intoxicating to just be able to have that effect on them.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so fascinating because, to a certain extent, a lot of us walk around, like when you're saying you're a people pleaser. And as soon as you said that, I immediately thought, like, I'm not. But when
me too.
Right, okay. Yeah. But when you go on stage as a comedian, you are completely removed from any ability to say, I don't give a fuck what other people think. Because if you go on stage and you bomb, it doesn't matter how much you're feeling yourself. The booze, that's the whole story.
But the ironic part about that is if you are acting like not yourself and you're putting on a front and you're like nervous, audiences pick up on that shit right away. So your jokes could be well written, but if you're not confident in who you are, and when you come out, I've seen comics come up on stage, the first 20 seconds of their set is silence. They just walk up, pick their teeth a little bit, they take the mic out, and they're fine. And I'm mesmerized by it. And so I don't even give a shit. But they're themselves. They don't care so much that they're being human on stage.
Well, first of all, I like that you said the booze, because I was like, this kid's been watching too much TV. I've been a comic for 7 years.
No
and
booze.
I've bombed a ton of times. I'm not trying to say I haven't bombed, but like no one's ever booed or threw anything or said, show me your tits. Like these things only happen on TV.
I feel like it probably happens to like toxic men more than it happens to nice ladies.
I don't know that I've ever heard of boo in real life.
Okay, I'm assuming there's plenty of booing.
I've yelled boo at a lot of things.
I was like being funny though, right?
Sometimes no. Sometimes when you're on the internet and then you're in real life, you still think you're on an internet. So if you see something you don't like and you just go boo, that's not how life works. And I've like booed poor fashion choices on the street, and then I realized, I
think I've heard boo at like when a screen has gone out in a movie theater, and perhaps like once or twice at a concert. Boo's never in comedy.
One time there was a girl walking down the street and she was wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, and I just yelled boo.
See that? I think
that made me happy.
And I don't think that there'd be any way that she wouldn't know exactly what that meant as well.
And
how
everybody
did she react?
It's pretty established.
Oh, she made
boo to that too.
She made exactly what you thought someone wearing that hat would do with their face. I don't know, but I mean, there is like confidence is key, because for me, I'm at a point where now I can now bomb confidently.
Yeah, that's
I
fun.
actually, I mean, I don't want to say I enjoy bombing, but like it's like you kind of know pretty quickly if you're gonna bomb, and you can make the decision to try to dig yourself out of that ditch. I usually don't do that because I lose respect for the audience.
Well, you have bad taste in comedy, then, I guess.
I'm like, let me see if I can master the art of bombing in this situation. I mean, I think it's like a survival tactic that everyone should know how to execute.
Bomb artfully.
Sure. Yeah, now it's I know I'm getting better as a comedian, because when I do bomb, I'm like, whatever.
It doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, because sometimes you can't blame the audience because that's lazy. It's always assume fault for it. I mean, it might be the audience one day, but some nights, but usually it's not. And then if you get comfortable and you don't feel so rejected by the world, bombing feels horrible.
Right.
But then when you could take it and go, well, whatever, it's fine. The next set will be okay.
If you know you're funny, one bomb shouldn't throw you completely off your course. If you're bombing every day for a month, then that's something. I usually have bombing weeks and then killing weeks.
I feel like we're talking about ISIS, but we're not.
Bombings,
If
exactly.
you're just joining us,
That's what's funny is this podcast won't be monetized because they're just going to see that the word bombing was in it 800 times.
Oh my God.
That
That's
really will
hilarious.
happen. That's the problem with YouTube.
they're going to isolate this clip, and then they're going to put something in the background.
They're
Well,
not
what they have,
isolate it.
they have like software that can make a
Not proud
script
of
from
that.
your
I'm
video.
not proud of that.
Wait, what?
She said
They're going to
ISIS
isolate
She
it.
said they're going to
okay.
isolate it, and I said they're going to isolate it.
Oh, ha ha.
You can follow me on YouTube.com/Corinne Fisher has given up.
Okay, you know, one thing I'm interested in, and obviously I have like a totally like layman's perspective on what comedy is like because I'm like very intrigued by it, but I don't personally have like the patience to like really watch it or do it or like go to comedy shows or anything like that. So I'm like a total
Patience?
outsider. Yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of, I'm more
You
like,
should watch the 15-minute specials on Netflix. I feel like that's more your jam.
But that is exactly why Netflix created that, because they've
No
been,
one does. Yeah.
I'm
they've
gonna be
been
real
tracking.
with you. I don't get how to use Netflix. I've never had
You
it.
put in your
Yeah, but
username.
all
and then
that
your
seems like a
password.
lot. I don't know.
Whoa. How'd you get dressed this morning? Did
I
Lena
don't know.
dress you?
Yeah, but I'm more of like an internet kid, and like Netflix to me is this walled garden that I don't really feel that comfortable interacting
But
with.
it's on the internet. You got to get on the internet to get Netflix.
I download shit off the Pirate Bay. I'm a
What a
torrenter.
G.
Yeah, that's still on there.
Remember LimeWire?
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I was using it yesterday.
Oh, what?
No, but
I was
imagine.
going to say, I didn't even know it was still around.
Whoa.
It probably is around in some form.
Wait,
Kazaa.
you need...
I loved Kazaa.
You need to have some kind of patience to be a podcaster. Like, I mean, I have pretty high amount of patience, and sometimes when we're interviewing people, I'm like,
I'm like,
oh,
get this over. This
can we
sucks.
stop this?
Well-
Just get me out of this fucking interview.
That's the weird thing about being a podcast is you temporarily have to take a break from your own self-absorbed existence and
I
sort
know,
of like
it
be like, hey,
sucks.
look, I care about other people. Like I'm going to acknowledge you. And you know what's weird is the more popping, famous, etc. You want to say that I get, the more I feel like people almost seem surprised that I can be an effective interviewer because I almost like am supposed to be more self-absorbed.
Right.
Oh,
Because they
okay.
project onto you what they think, they think you are.
Yeah, or there's just something with that where they feel like, oh, like as I get bigger, I should be so concerned with myself that I'm not even going to want to talk to other people. I feel like some
Yes.
people almost have that like expectation of me.
I want you to fail, Adam. But
Oh,
you're
hell
not
yeah,
gonna
of course
fail.
they do, yeah.
You already succeeded.
Damn it. Sorry,
we
cat.
keep
The cat
scaring
jumped.
this poor cat.
But he doesn't leave.
Fact, Williamsburg Animal Shelter.
Oh,
Like 10 years ago.
Oh, what a little bit.
that was a good decision.
Does he always rest on the table while you're interviewing guests?
Well, one time he walked up to a R&B singer named Landon Cube and smacked him in the face in the middle of the interview. That was pretty epic.
Fucking hilarious.
And I
Hey,
did
you
it-
didn't like the person.
I did an
It's
interview
okay.
with D Savage, the rapper, the other day, and there was a little dog that they were playing with on the table. Pissed all over it. First couple seconds of the podcast, as soon as we start, boom, pee all over the table.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
you gotta watch
Crazy.
the dog. Don't put the dog. But so the cat doesn't usually rest on the table. It's like a special quality about us.
You know, he gets
that he's
around. He'll
magnetized.
wander around on the streets here and there. He
What's
does
his
his own thing.
name?
Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Tony. That's
Tony
my
Yayo.
super's name.
Because he's a big bundle of cocaine.
Tony's beautiful.
You guys do a lot of cocaine?
I don't.
No.
I've never done cocaine. In
People
fact.
think I do though because I have
That's
this.
You live in Manhattan.
That just
Yeah,
blew
but it's
your
not.
mind.
Cocaine is not that.
No, you're right. It
It's
sucks. I hate
okay.
it, yeah.
It's okay. I've had cocaine before. That's really like, ooh, this is zippy.
Yeah.
But
Everyday
I'm
drugs
more of
are
an
not
Adderall person.
Not for me. I'm very into psychedelics.
Oh, right. I forgot that about
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I like when you haven't
You're a
taken
wave.
Adderall in like a month,
I'm a
and then
wave.
you take one, and you're like, I'm gonna clean every corner of this house.
Because I said that to Lena. I was like, man, she's got the psychedelic shit in her Twitter profile. I said that to her like
you
right
did?
before we did the interview, and I was like, she is committed.
Well, because it's
She
a
did DMT.
lifestyle. I want, and I also want people, because like when people find out that secret about you, I've noticed a lot of people come and talk to you about it, and I want to be informed by people who have experienced it. And that's the most recently I've used YouTube in a way that I thought was constructive. There's a lot of good psychedelics, like kind of
Yes.
pro tips, and I watched a very informative video about DMT in addition to the Joe Rogan podcast about it.
I'm very
Oh, you gotta
interested
talk
in
to me
trying
about that.
DMT soon, and I really want to like learn more about it before I do it. Yeah.
You've done acid, right?
I have a vlog that I made that's like a half-hour long, and it has like 1.5 million views called "I took acid in the woods with my friends and
Okay.
vlogged it" or something like that.
And
just
the
so you know
vlog
that
is
exists.
you on acid?
Yeah, on the side of a mountain. Yeah, it was cool. And I'm talking about a lot of shit that like is blatantly like acid talk, like shit that doesn't really like it would be hard for you to understand if you hadn't done psychedelics.
Yeah, because I've never done a psychedelic.
That's cool.
Oh, well, I guess is Molly a psychedelic? Yeah.
No.
Oh no,
it's not
Not so
considered.
much.
No, I mean,
Okay.
it's basically like I would say mushroom as a DMT, and then there's something more powerful than DMT that I always forget the name about.
Ayahuasca.
That's more
That's
powerful
one
than
of them,
DMT.
right?
I want
Or
to do
is
that.
it?
That's different. My friend went to Peru and did the ayahuasca retreat. I mean, just a lot of vomiting. Just get ready to vomit.
We should just do PCP together, and I feel like our friendship could reach a whole new height.
PCP? Is that angel dust?
Yes.
What does that do?
Just wow the fuck out, I'm assuming.
Wow the fuck out. Yeah, but that could mean so many things.
I did meth. I'm going to keep it
I'd
100.
rather just do Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall. I mean, yeah.
It's safe. Well, it's not, but it's because then I don't like snorting things.
Mm-hmm.
I hate snorting.
At this point in my life, I'm so connected to like the cause and effect of like cocaine, how I'm going to feel the next day. And when you're 18,
you can orchestrate how you feel. Your feelings.
when you're young and you like are doing drugs, number one, they don't affect you the same way, and number two, it's like
Yeah.
you just keep forgetting and not caring about the fact that you're going to feel like death the next day.
Yeah. I've never done coke. Well, because I never do a lot. Whenever I've done cocaine, it's always been one line in one, usually one nostril, and that's it.
Yeah, because like when people ask me how much coke I've done in my life, I think like, well, there was like that one weekend in Vegas where I was just blasted out of my mind for like 48 hours straight.
How do
And
people die of coke then? If that's you can do that,
when
and
I
then
think
you don't
about
die.
that, I
Don't they
think
lace
that
it with shit?
that could kill me now, maybe.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
surprised I
okay.
survived it in retrospect.
It's rough on your heart.
Oh, yes.
And then, I mean, they also do lace it with things sometimes, right? You can get a bad baggie.
Yeah, well, as long as we're gonna keep it a thou
Nana,
wow.
thanks.
Lil Peep, he took a Xanax from a
bad
fan and it was like laced with fentanyl, and that's why he died.
Oh my God, what a fucking Selena moment. Jesus.
Do they know the fan is? Ooh.
There's like a viral tweet with like
the
10,000
fan-
retweets of the girl with her dad's fucking phone number and address and all this crazy shit.
That's not how you solve
Well, I mean,
that,
that's-
boys
that's-
and girls.
that's
I have
safe.
not gotten involved with it at all, but I mean,
I wonder, did she know what?
they have screenshots of
I
her
mean-
bragging about all this like how she's gonna give it to him and talking about how she's done this to other people and stuff. And from the picture, she looks like
Is she trying to kill them?
Oh, like,
I don't
so
think she
she's
was
a
trying to
murderer.
kill him, but I
Oh,
think she
she's
might have been
giving
such a
people bad-
dumbass, like bad drugs.
Bad
yeah.
drugs?
I mean, there's all kinds of rumors, and I mean,
I mean,
Michael
this is
Jackson.
nothing
Yeah.
near that. But one time, and that's why I know not to take. Mia Tyler always told me. She's like, she always told me. She told me once, don't take food from fans or anything of drugs from fans that aren't like if it's a weed thing,
Right.
make sure it's packaged. And I was like, that's a really good point.
and especially in the rap world, I'm
Oh,
sure
I
it happens to
bet.
some degree in the comic
Nah,
world.
not
No,
as much. Well, one time I smoked. It was actually at the Comedy Store, and some girl was like, "I really just want to smoke with you, like one hit," because I smoke weed, and I didn't really want to because I usually do it later, and because I get tired. And I was like, "All right, one hit." I coughed for an hour, and it was all wax. I smoked
Oh,
a
yeah,
joint
yeah.
of wax, and I never
Nice.
smoked wax.
but you only took one hit. You got
One
that
hit,
fucked up.
I got so fucked up.
Wow.
It was awful.
She's a delicate flower.
I want to smoke a
very
backwood with you guys
delicate.
now.
A pack?
Backwood.
Oh, I smoke cigarettes. What's
Yeah.
that? A cigar?
Yeah, and then you take it and you fill it
shove
full
it
of
up your-
weed, and and you shove it in your dick hole too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
like,
say
is
dick
that
hole,
in the
but
black
then-
and mild
Oh, you guys are
family?
kinky. You ever do that? You ever fuck with your guys' urethra?
I haven't done that. I know you,
You
can
guys are
stick an
freaky.
electronic.
I love that
You guys are
sentence.
kinky.
You ever fuck with your guy's urethra?
Adam 22. I fuck with my man's urethra like every weekend, and
Right.
let me tell you something. He loves it.
Please
no,
tell
I've never.
us.
You
I
can
don't know. You're
electrocute.
freaky. You're doing these threesomes and stuff. I don't know. Maybe you
You
played
do
with
it
his
more
wiener
than
hole.
me. You've
That's
had
not
more
that,
than
like,
me.
freaky
Yeah.
is like cutting someone and drinking their blood, or
That's
like
freaky.
or like feeding someone until they throw up.
You don't
this
think
is not.
you don't think dipping your pinky hole in your guy's urethra? You don't think
Pinky
that's
hole.
freaky?
No,
that
that's-
shouldn't go there.
That's
Pinky
just not.
finger.
Yeah, that's just
pinky
hurtful.
finger.
No, I think it's disturbed,
your,
yeah.
No, your urethra shouldn't. Your urethra shouldn't be
agree.
that big.
No, I agree.
Somebody doing that?
Yes, I saw a video when I was in.
Stop.
Urethra play.
I think 2003, 2004. Someone sent me a video. It was one of those Pain Olympics type things, and it's a girl, and
Pain
she's like
Olympics?
a regular looking like porn
being
star
a
type
woman?
chick, and she's shoving a giant dildo in the penis hole. There's blood everywhere. I saw this. I'm
Okay.
still scarred, and I've mentioned this around a lot of other guys who said that the same thing. They saw it. They can't get it out of their head.
So what I'm thinking is there was this one video because this happened one time, and then everyone was just like, "SOS! Let's send this around so this never happens to anyone again."
I never watched Two Girls One Cup for a reason.
Seen it?
I watched it. Of
course you
It was
have.
gross, but I mean, I'm not haunted by it.
I would be haunted. Everything about me is sensitive.
Just so you know, the urethra thing's not as uncommon as you think it is. I remember when I still
There
lived
is
in
a-
Brooklyn,
yeah.
I hung out with this girl. She goes, "Oh yeah, like I was doing stuff with sounds." I'm like, "What's a sound?" It's this metal. It's like a tuning fork
a
type
metal
thing.
rod.
Oh,
You put
yeah.
up there. I've
You
heard
put
about
it the
that.
whole way in the
I've
dick.
heard of
You
that,
bang
yeah.
it on stuff. I'm like, please stop talking about this. This is the worst thing I ever heard. I'm respectful of everybody, what they want to do with your body, but just thinking about that makes me want to like actually shoot myself in the head.
Something like that, you could damage your dick. Let's be honest,
dude. You know
It's
what?
not what it was meant to do. Let's throw that out there.
I can't stand when I'm watching a good old fashioned anal sex video, and then the girl starts pooping, and the guy keeps going.
Pooping.
What is it? And then sometimes bleeding.
I've never seen this.
Bleeding.
I have many porns that I've watched. They don't give you a fucking warning. There's no hashtag for that one.
Well, you must be deep on Pornhub if you're finding the bloody shit
I've been using
porn.
it for years. I'm really bored. But yeah.
It's giving you the weird stuff. You watch everything, so they're giving you different stuff.
I was like, I've only just gone into Mormon porn, so I'm very far behind everybody else.
I always look up like wife lets husband fuck babysitter. That's currently my favorite category.
So
and a lot of them are morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why when
morning or Mormon?
Mormon. Morning. Not.
So
yeah,
I'm always morning.
So you like watching your boyfriend bang another chick in front of you? Yeah.
So hot.
Yeah. But Lena has a different, like, I don't know.
She's more like, let's share this dick. Like, it's like the pilgrims at Thanksgiving. Like, let's share.
If there's another girl in the room and she's giving me head, she immediately, like, her instinct is like, get on over here. Come on, join in on this. It's so cute.
I love her. She's like the sweetest fucking human being on the planet. I do feel that way too. And there's this word that I recently learned from Dan Savage called compersion. And it's the opposite of jealousy. And it's being happy that your partner can have another experience with another woman. So usually after I come, when we have three ways, the whole fantasy of wanting to watch him fuck somebody goes. Like when I come, I'm like, all right, what are we eating? Where's cake? I'm on pizza.
So you got to push the orgasm back towards the end of the session.
I always do. But then after that, if they're not done, I'm not going to yell cut, you know, because that's rude. But then I'm like, oh, he gets to have sex with another lady. That's nice.
So you have that, and it's like a different instinct that kicks in?
Because it's not a horny thing at all.
Really?
So when the horniness is over after I come, I'm like, oh, good for you guys.
See, I think it's good that you have such a linear orgasm procedure because with Lena, it's a little bit more tricky all over the place.
Well, sometimes usually with my boyfriend multiple times in one session. Yeah. But it's always like the big bang one is at the end.
Do you typically use drugs during these threesomes?
No. I guess we drink a little bit.
Drink a little, okay.
We usually, when we've smoked weed, we've done it afterwards.
Yeah. See, that's the weird thing is that me and Lena used to drink a lot and do coke and stuff when we would have threesomes now.
That sounds great.
But we're kind of like falling back on partying and stuff. We've been partying a lot less, so we've been have like a lot more sober type experiences of this sort, and it's definitely different. There's different.
It is because you're like
used to it,
present in the moment, and you're
more
like
intimate,
ugh.
and also like I have trouble remembering stuff when I'm drunk. Like
that sucks.
And I'm not as good at sex when I'm drunk. I'm not good at sex when I'm drunk. I think I am, and that's the problem.
I have all these porno videos of me and her and other girls on my phone that I'm just like, I've never really felt the need to watch it because it's kind of weird watching yourself in that like, drunk ass, coked out moment.
Right. Yeah. And you don't want you want to hold up a mirror to yourself that you don't want to see yet.
And she said she gets jealous watching it sober sometimes when she'll rewatch it and I'm fucking the other girl and she'll just be like,
well, if she's not horny in that moment, like, it's like when you watch, when someone would put a porno in front of you and you're just not horny at all. It's like, what are they? Ew, gross.
She could just be more loving than when she's drunk too. Like I definitely am. Like
you're very loving.
Like, but it's like they always say like being drunk shows your true self. I'm like, no, that's not my true self at all.
Not at all.
That's a fake self. I don't know who that is.
Right.
That's a
especially
lady
if you're drunk enough.
who's in a good mood. I don't know who that is.
Who is that woman?
Yeah,
some jolly girl. Yeah.
Very jovial.
It's amazing. All right. So what else should we talk about here? We're approximately 1 hour and 55 minutes. What's important for us to hit on? Let me ask you this. When you hear rap songs, which I don't know how you hear rap songs, maybe on the radio, stuff like that. Are you overall like offended by the lyrical content?
No. Oh man, I would sing I like 'em young, fresh and green with no hair in between. I would even fucking rap that song when I was in middle school.
Right.
And then when I got older, I'm like, oh, that lyrics are fucked up. And I'm like, whatever, it's a great song.
That's not that offensive though. I've heard a lot of other.
That song has some offensive lyrics in it, but also that's why I love Eminem because he's like, bitch, I'll kill you. Like, and then at the end he's like, I'm just kidding, ladies. You know I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's hilarious.
That's a joke. Yeah.
I know, and that's why I really like Eminem because he pushes it to piss people off, and then he just doesn't care what they think. And I think that's cool.
Funny. I am. That's why I'm not so knowledgeable in hip hop. I can't consume it a lot because it is. But I love women in hip hop.
Dude, I love Crime Mob. I listen to Crime Mob. Like Nuck If You Bug is like my favorite fucking rap song.
How conscious of the Cardi B ascension of this year are you?
Pretty conscious of it.
I learned about her early this year. Yeah, I love Cardi B.
She is hilarious. Like really genuinely funny.
Imagine her doing stand up. Because she's like the comedian of the century.
Oh, yeah.
Without
She would be
doing
great.
Real comedy.
She would be. Oh, her Instagram videos.
It's like incredible, right?
Oh man, I'm just like, you are a gem.
I discovered her first as a personality. I'm like, who is this
Right.
lady?
Yeah.
I like her.
I feel guilty for being skeptical about her rap career because it's just gone so crazy. Because I'm kind of not used
But you
to
know what?
meme
That
people
song
turning out to be
resonated.
that good. You know?
Right. Yeah, I understand that. But that song just resonated with shit. Like that one fucking video that went viral, this chick mouthing the lyrics to her boyfriend, like up in his face
that
in the
was
club.
so good. Up in his
That's what
face,
women feel
and
when
he's
that song comes on, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I
Wait,
know that is a beautiful.
What are
thing.
your feelings on the Cash Me Outside girls rap song? Did you hear it? These hoes?
Yeah, I've heard them. I don't know. I think that her career.
What?
Wait,
Who?
you don't know about this?
Oh my God. Yes.
What
She
did
was.
you
You know,
just
she was
say?
here the other day. I have a photo with her out there.
Oh, no. Danielle
Bergoli.
yeah.
AKA Bad Baby, AKA the Catch Me Outside girl.
Cash Me Outside.
So apparently you've been living under some sort of
Nana,
rock.
you're hip.
She is signed with Atlantic Records. She has
Oh.
multiple songs out.
Okay,
Oops.
that song. I got a lot of shit for this on Twitter. I liked the song. The song was good, and then I felt
What's she saying that's
I
so
felt-
offensive?
Think it was offensive. Just
These
like
hoes.
I think
That's
I
her
think a lot of
main
people
song.
are just offended that she's a rapper at all. But then
Is she white?
I was yes, yeah.
You don't know who the Catch Me Outside girl is?
Yeah,
No.
Nana.
Who are you?
Who is that?
But
kid?
then
You know
I
that
was-
Donald Trump is the president, right?
Who's Donald Trump?
But then I was walking through Harlem,
Reagan?
and I felt so vindicated because guys on the street were playing her song, and I videotaped it, and I was like, I
Soros. They were
won.
busted by
I am
Soros.
so victorious right now.
Is she white? Like Eminem
Yes.
is technically white.
You wanna
but
see
like
the-
he's an amazing rapper.
Let me say
Is
this.
she not an amazing
You don't
rapper?
remember this clip from Dr. Phil where there's a little white girl and she's saying, "Oh, how about you catch me outside? How about that?" You don't remember that?
No.
Wow, you're not terribly meme literate. I'm gonna be honest with
Oh
you.
no, I don't give a fuck about me.
Which is good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that you're sort of an
really-
outsider in terms of
Yeah, I
what
mean,
the
she's
world
not.
has
It's not
going
like
on.
if I started a rap career, she's not that kind of white.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay. That's what I
okay.
mean.
Yeah.
I mean, like a hippity zippity zap.
No,
bitch.
no. She
She's
has some
definitely
kind of street credentials.
Okay, because I've never heard of a white female rapper who's good.
Lady Sovereign.
Krayshawn.
Yeah,
Oh,
The
actually,
the nasty.
yeah.
I love
lesbian
Krayshawn.
says the
Roll-
N-word. I don't care. She's really fucking good. Like
Dude.
I don't think she should say the N-word, but she does, and she's so
Yeah.
hood that nobody really seems to call her out on it.
And hey, but if you want to call her out, that's your right.
Yes,
and if you
I
don't,
agree with that as well.
cool, whatever.
Certainly not my call, but yeah, sometimes I think about that because she was on this podcast saying the
Krayshawn?
N-word. No, but she just I finally got the Krayshawn
fucking
follow
love
after
her.
like 6 years the other day.
I love her.
Shout out to the verified tab, otherwise
Shit,
I probably
yo.
wouldn't have known.
Oh, right. I always look at
God,
that.
when I hit the
Talking about making it about me. I love
Wait,
going
there's
on
a
Twitter.
verified.
I got verified like a month or two
So
ago.
you can only see notifications from important people, Corinne.
I've been verified for ages, and I didn't
Oh.
know there was a.
Oh my
That's
God, you've
why
really
I
been
wanted
missing
to be
out.
verified.
Oh yeah, that's the only
that's
reason.
the
It's like a
only reason.
secret club.
Oh, I got to look into that secret club. See,
I'll
I just,
show it to you.
I care about all
Nana.
the people. As my point, I'm just trying to make.
No, Bill,
Hey,
shit.
care about
I
everybody.
want to show you something else that has really had an effect on my life. Is that when you're in your notifications tab, you go to that little gear and you tap advanced filters and then mute people you don't follow, and all of a sudden you got your own little customized mini feed of only the people you follow.
What? Oh, so if they retweet something
Yeah,
from
so
a person you don't follow, you won't see
When
it?
I look at the likes, I don't have to look at 9,400 likes that
Yo.
are people I don't know. I only see
Yeah.
the people I follow,
I
which is
hate
kind of
looking at
nice.
my 9,400
I
likes.
wish Instagram had that.
How
many likes
so
did
much
that?
time in my
Nine-
day.
How many likes?
Well, that one that I clicked on had 9,400 likes. but-
Jesus.
Just that random one.
Well, but on the other
It
side,
was a picture of my shit. I
No,
was like,
it's
I guess I'll tweet
You know, my
this.
friend did have to die for those 9,400 likes, so it was sympathy likes.
Oh,
Sympathy
okay.
likes,
The
cheat
sympathy
code.
likes. Otherwise,
Okay.
what's the point in having
Sympathy
a friend?
likes,
All
you know.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
Sympathy likes are, you know, it feels bad when like your friend dies and then all of a sudden your Instagram starts going crazy because those posts about your friend dying are like the most
Right.
viral thing ever, which is
Right.
unfortunate. But
Yeah.
He
Well,
was
if you're saying
loved.
something kind about him and
yeah,
people resonate
at least
with
I'm not one of
that.
these kids making T-shirts of his fucking face immediately.
Oh, that's fucking
I
rude.
know, right? Because we all thought it. Like,
Unless
oh,
you're
shit,
donating
yeah.
the money to a cause.
Right.
Oh,
But-
that's not rude.
Wait. We all thought
Wait.
it.
Well, we all
Adam
thought like
22,
one
back
way to
up.
deal with this is to, like
Reverse.
you could put an image of it on a shirt or whatever, but then it's like, oh shit, what do you do with the money and what do you
Donate it
Wait,
to a
you-
drug.
Oh, yeah,
drug
yeah.
Or
his
counseling.
family.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
you meant
yeah.
like putting an image of him on a shirt just for you.
Oh no, but just thinking like, damn, if I made like a shirt using a really good photo of him right now, I could probably sell like thousands of them.
you're a businessman. No, it's
there's
good.
no way I would keep the money
Of
out,
course,
but you
no,
know,
no, no.
it's just
Of course,
it
you're
would
gonna
be.
think that you're really good at business.
But thank you.
You
I
are.
appreciate that.
It's
You
like
as well. I
It's like
assume.
a comedian thinking of the worst joke that you could think about in the situation. Like for me, it's like when there's a mass shooting, it's like number one, I'm sad about guns, but then number two, what is the greatest joke I can make about this mass shooting?
But you know you can't say it.
Oh,
No,
I say
she
it.
says
Oh,
it.
okay.
That's why. Aren't you getting that insurance basically for your mouth?
Well, it's like umbrella insurance,
Yeah.
but it's like you
that's
can't
a real
sue,
thing?
You can't sue someone because you were offended. It would have to be about someone specific. Kathy Griffin, for instance, is lawyered up, and she, I'm sure, has a very high umbrella insurance. But it's like if I don't say these things, as long as it's a well constructed joke, it doesn't matter. Like I have to do my job. I think it's in times of when it's scary in the world is the most
That's the
important
best time.
for a comedian to be doing their job. So I can't be like, oh, I'm nervous, I'm not going to do my job. No, I'm going to fucking do my job.
I have a question. Could you imagine somebody like in your little comedy New York world that I was really fascinated getting to hang out like behind the scenes with you and Andrew, because it just seems like this super just hyper, you know, the evolutionary process is so heightened in that environment because you have all these people going on stage and trying to be funny every night, and it's just like the level of jokes has to advance because you could seem unfunny so easily because there's
or
this,
lazy.
Yeah, because it's just so rapid. There's so much progression taking place within that little environment. Could you imagine, you know, when I go back and I watch like Andrew Dice Clay and I'm like, I cannot believe that this existed. Could you be like an Andrew Dice Clay or like some sort of like conservative or right-wing type comedian and actually thrive within that like downtown? Does it work in this day and age?
I think so. Can I think of anybody off the top of my head that does that? I mean, there's a lot of comedians that like Tim Dillon is a stand-up comedian who is fucking hilarious. He's a gay Republican who talks like this, and not really that raspy, but he's so fucking funny. And his jokes are a lot about like making fun of shit from that conservative viewpoint, which I love. I mean, he's not super famous yet, but I think he will be. It
is difficult, though. I mean, as someone who dates a comedian who is a Republican,
that's right.
I can speak very closely to this. It's difficult. Like he definitely has been alienated by the community, and I'm like, well, I mean, I think the most important thing that he needs to remember is that you can't kind of go between having serious political statements on your social media and then jokes about those same things, because then people are going to remember when you were serious about it. So I'm like, but if you continually make it a joke, I think
it's respectable.
I think it's funny. I certainly don't believe or agree with most of his political or social views, but I can see how he got there. I don't think he's insane or hateful. And I mean, it's a joke. Another great example is Owen Benjamin. I mean, he's kind of gone rogue in his thoughts and feelings. Used to live in LA, has recently moved back to New York, not even the city, just like literally the woods. And he has a lot of not liberal views. But he's doing a great job, and his fans have supported him. But he has been fired from his representation.
He was
yes, and he was kicked out of many clubs that he has performed at over his decade-plus long career.
Did he make any like particular comments that were so offensive that he?
Yeah, what did he say?
I mean, I think one thing that people are really upset about is that this is not so much political, but he, I think there was some kind of a story about a 3-year-old coming out as trans, and the parents were kind of helping to have a 3-year-old start to transition, and he was like, "This isn't okay. This is not okay."
Which honestly,
I don't disagree
seems like pretty
with.
reasonable
I
to
agree,
me.
because I didn't know I was a girl when I was 3, unless my Beauty and the Beast spread was any clue.
If a 14, 15-year-old can't consent to sex, I don't think a 3-year-old can decide to transition.
Come on,
you know. So
what the fuck?
It's like
That's a little.
You want to be open-minded,
much.
but you also need to protect the safety of people who are not ready to make these lifelong, permanent decisions.
Right.
But I love when comedians fucking go hard at a joke. Like after something happens that's really tragic, or it breaking news that's really sad, and then they just make fun of it, and it's like, I love being offended.
Really?
I think that is it's so much fun. It's enjoyable for me, and I think people's problems right now, one of the many problems, but it's like when they're offended, they feel like they have to take action. I just get offended, and then I enjoy it, and then I move on with my day.
So you guys are in such an interesting position because you're feminists. You're obviously aware of a lot of the discourse that goes on within the feminist community, in which a lot of people are, sort of, and I don't even want to be dismissive of the way that they feel and everything, but there's a lot of people who are sort of, in a permanent state of being offended by stuff, which, you know, reasonably so.
Really irritating.
But like, you guys kind of can't exist in that way as comedians. Like, it's just not, it's not a funny perspective to take.
Yeah. I mean, with that, it's just, we make fun of feminism because you should be able to critique something, and how we critique things are jokes. And our version of feminism is more like women can be pieces of shit too. Women are not perfect. You're not good at something just because you're a woman. And also, like, feminism does, it's just fucking equality. Treat me with equal respect. Don't talk down to me like I'm a little fucking kid. And you know, and a lot of times women have to do this, minority people of color have to do this and work a little bit harder to get where they are. And so that's certainly part of being a woman, but it's like, okay, you know, that's fine.
But do you ever feel like you're like kind of at risk for almost being called out as not progressive enough because of the kind of stuff that you're...
I do, and I am all the time.
If people call us, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly, the feminist infighting, I think, is a constant problem. I talked about it in the book a lot. I mean, I certainly lost...
Shout out to the book, but I read half the book on the plane, and I forgot to finish it. Sorry.
Thank you. No, it's okay. Thank you.
The fact that you even read half of it is a nice start.
Yeah, my friends have read. She's like, they're like, I read it. I'm like, oh my God.
I bet you were reading it like this, trying to get on like hot guys reading.
You're right.
Instagram.
I totally put it on Snapchat.
Oh, that's a good idea.
SMH, I did
you
it.
could get on the hot guys reading Instagram 100%.
Oh, that's a thing?
Oh, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hell yeah,
awesome.
it's a thing.
I might have to
You
do
just
that.
got to do a lot of public reading, Adam.
Okay.
Get on it.
I mean, you don't have to be reading. You can't tell if you're reading in the photo. You just got to have the book in front of your face.
And
But
actually, I have like a men's activist like pamphlet
Women
within it.
suck.
Yeah, that's a weird thing too, though. Is like, where do you, as a comedian, make that crossover to where your political beliefs and everything are so toxic that you're just completely exiled? Like, you guys know Gavin McInnes?
Yes.
And it's like such an interesting career trajectory where he was like this mainstream, well, not mainstream, but he did the Vice thing, and now he's like on like the rebel media and shit. And he's just basically like a, I don't want to call him like a white supremacist, but he's like something. He says things that are so offensive that he's not going to get booked to do anything in mainstream comedy stuff.
You could just date Tommy Lawrence.
Oh, yeah, they
Lauren.
should fuck.
Lauren? Oh, sorry, Lauren.
Whatever.
Is there any part of you that, because you have this conservative mate, is there any part of you that's like, maybe I should seize upon that sort of white rage and sort of take on like a Tommy Loren type persona?
No, number one, I like that. Number one,
Oh my God.
I like how quickly
No.
you corrected me on her last name. Like, are you buds with her?
No, but I'm aware of her.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
she's
Lahren.
mad hot.
She is hot, but
She is hot.
I'm more. I you know, see her with the Charlemagne thing. I thought was really interesting because he got a lot of shit for interviewing
Yeah,
her.
but I love talking to people that don't agree with
Right.
me. I would love to have Bill O'Reilly on our podcast. That little piece of shit scumbag.
Yeah,
He's not going to
sucks,
come
yeah.
on.
Well, you can start by having one thing that you agree on, because we were on Tommy's show and she
we
had
were.
some not terrible views about
Oh,
feminism.
you were on her show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and,
didn't know
and
that.
she even
Okay.
said, and I was ready for a fight. I did my research.
Were
and
you
I was,
there when she came out as pro-choice and then got
No,
fired?
but really excited about that.
Yeah,
That's
we
great.
Skyped, we
Yeah.
Skyped into the show.
I
Yeah.
hated that people on the left want to use that as like a way to like shit on her more. I'm like, no, shouldn't you be happy that like, oh, she's
am-
conservative and she shares a belief with you at least?
Thank God. I was
Right.
very relieved. But when we came on, you know, she Skyped us in, she was like, I know we disagree on a lot of things, but I think one thing that we can agree on is that women need to be treated with more respect in this world. I was like, yeah.
She's a master manipulator, though, because she was also
only-
on the reality show I Am Jazz with the young transgender girl.
She
And-
was?
Yeah, and she had Jazz on her show, and the same as you, Jazz and her mom were like ready for this big fight, and then she was just like, "Well, you should just like be able to like be yourself." And they're like,
Nobel Prize.
You're like, what? I can't believe I sat through this goddamn reality show episode for this nonsense.
So many conservative people have like multiple faces that they can wear, and like
yeah.
that shit, like with all these email leaks and stuff, it comes out so hard
Oh.
sometimes. The fucking dude Mitch from Broadly who was sending Milo all, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Broadly's like Vice's
I know
like
broadly what
yeah.
Broadly is, but I don't know what he said.
He was like one of the main editors or some shit, and they came out that there was this whole like email dump that I was in on too, because Milo, I had sent Milo after I interviewed him, because he had
you
asked
interviewed him?
Yes, back
Whoa.
like almost 2 years ago.
Back when he was accepted in
Back when he was
society.
not as labeled, because Joe Rogan had just done him like right before, and I was geeking. I'm like, oh, I get to do someone Joe Rogan just did.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm a grown-up podcaster now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was hyped. But
now you get us before Rogan.
I mean,
Hey.
the buzz. Yeah, see, right? But now I got to hustle to get this out before his.
Hurry up.
Damn.
Anyway.
Yeah, just that'll be all right.
Wait,
But-
what- yeah, what
oh,
happened with
okay.
that?
So basically, when I did the Milo interview, we had privately talked about someone that I knew who had basically there had been like a whole abuse allegation, and I had heard information privately that was like, oh, it didn't happen or whatever. And all I did was I just wrote him an email and I was like, yo, here's this link to this website, like with the story about it. And it was like, you know, you could like privately have a conversation about like, I don't know if I believe this allegation.
Yeah,
but then
and
all of a
that's
sudden
okay.
it's
It's
public
human.
and it's like really weird. Like, why were you having that conversation with him?
Women.
Yeah, it was really weird. But the dude, the editor of Broadly got fired because he was sending Milo tons of tips and like bad shit being like, this fat bitch, blah, blah, blah. Like, really,
Whoa.
right?
Well,
and he's
you
the
know.
fucking editor of like a huge feminist.
But see, that's
That's
why
crazy.
a lot of places, like I feel like Jezebel, I wouldn't be surprised if Jezebel was just ran by a rapist who just like raped and murdered girls.
See, I'm
and
not
just,
sure they've been called out,
they
but you can
haven't
almost
been.
like
'Cause
expect.
they're probably not, but
yeah, and there's a big expose that just came out about Vice and shit too.
fuck.
There's
I
a lot
love
of garbage
Vice.
going on. And I mean, there's things where like people are doing
Everyone's
like anti-sex
garbage.
trafficking, merchandising, like wearing t-shirts, like don't sex traffic. And like that money from buying those t-shirts is going
Goes into
towards
sex
sex
trafficking.
trafficking. So I mean, these are things I
gotta
learned.
traffic this
on
kid
So
right
here's my
Reddit.
sex trafficking fund.
Yeah.
Go fund me, baby.
Maybe- should I have one of those within the No Jumper coffers?
Yeah, but I mean, if you're, I think if
Yes.
you're,
Money that goes towards
if
money for
you're-
people.
if you're a guy, and I have a joke about this, like if you're too outspoken about being a feminist as a guy,
Something's wrong with you.
Like I need someone to accompany me to my car
Right.
after the show
Yeah.
because I don't trust you.
There's
Yeah,
a big part
yeah,
of me
yeah.
that does okay, I don't want to do it because then it's like if I call out some random fucking dude that I don't even know anything about, then it's like, well, why am I not calling out my friends who've been accused of the exact same shit?
You can call them out to their face.
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah,
to call them out
but I don't
everything
like
online.
to like with my friends who've been called out of shit because I have friends who've been accused of the absolute worst shit,
So
not
have
just
we.
accused, but it's been like proven because you know, and they're rappers and stuff. So, but which is weird because within rap, a lot of those allegations are just completely not treated the same way that they would be in any other walk of life, which is weird.
Well,
it's
it's
like
weird,
the Bad
like-
Kids Club.
Yeah, well, we interviewed DJ Who Kid at Sirius, and he was telling us how like he would. This is not anything to do with sexual assault, but it's the rap world. Like he would physically stack women on top of each other, and it was called a pancake stack.
Pancaking.
He would
DJ
go
Who Kid would.
syrup, and he jizzes on them, and we're like, wait, what? And then we were like, oh, that's so fucked up. And my boyfriend used to work at Def Jam, and I told him that story. He's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But then I'm like, there are women who do that, who want to do it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think like
yeah.
if you're a woman and you want to be stacked like a pancake, that's your choice.
But
Hey,
you would
we're in
stack
goddamn
them on
America.
top of themselves and then come like what on the top one and just sort of watch it leak down. This is weird
Like,
to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. You
I know
seem
some
to
weird
catch on
guys,
pretty
but
quickly.
that's weird. That's a lot.
Yeah, but he's done it like multiple times.
It seems messy.
I also sort of am weirded out by the idea that DJ Who Kid carries this sort of clout at this point. But you know, maybe
I mean, we were
maybe 10
interviewing
years
him,
ago,
you know.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Damn.
Maybe he knows you guys weren't gonna call him out.
Shade.
No, I love DJ Who Kid. He would understand me saying that as well.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I made fun of him for literally the entire interview to
He
his
thought it
face.
was hilarious.
No, I don't think he even knew I was making fun of him.
maybe he thought okay.
DJ Woo Kid.
I mean, during the G Unit extravaganza of the early 2000s, I don't doubt that there were massive hordes of women trying to do anything to get close to 50 cents. So.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he told us all those stories, and yeah.
And then he dated Chelsea Handler, and I've never respected a man more.
Right.
Yeah.
That was weird.
So hot. I
remember-
remember dream duo.
I
the
loved
shit.
it when she came out saying that like one of the reasons why she had to break up with him was because of his spelling, and she was like saying how he spelled stuff like R
That's
space
hilarious.
U.
Never
spell-
related
you know.
to anything more.
I could imagine his spelling's probably not great, or at least not as good as hers. Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
I mean, that's
spend
why he had
time
to do the 50 as the number because he was like, that's
F
too long.
E. I don't know.
I give up.
5-0.
Just put the number. That's
5-0.
universal.
Who would you rather have sex with, 50 Cent or Chelsea Handler?
Chelsea Handler.
Really?
50 Cent.
Just because you'd have more in common with her?
I mean, 50 Cent for
You'd
me.
bring
Just
your
because she'd be so
boyfriend.
fun. Yeah.
Pussy. That's soft.
No, but yeah, that'd be fun. I'm at a point now where I'm like, I just want to have sex with people out of curiosity. Like, what do you
Really,
like
yeah.
to fuck?
See, me and my girl, when we get blackout drunk, or in the past, which we haven't done in a while, but like
Couple months
we
ago.
would look at my
Last
call
week.
log and we would just be FaceTiming random like porn stars of
Trying to get it to fuck?
girls we know. Not even like that we thought they were going to come over at 4 o'clock in the morning, but more like, Tony,
But they
sit your
might.
ass down.
Tony,
but
get the
Oh,
fuck
I
out.
love
more
Tony.
like, hey, we want these people to sort of be involved
swat
with
us?
what we got going on right now.
Yeah.
Tony,
Dude, when I was
sit your ass
single,
down.
I always get horny when I drink. And Tony,
He's trying to bite you, so
That's
he's
okay.
mean. He's from Brooklyn.
No, I had a cat who was a huge cunt, and the vet was like, "You need to drop this cat off at a farm," and I did. Anyway, I forget what I was saying, but fucking bitches, am I right?
Are
Yeah.
you talking to Tony in a secret cat language? What's going on?
The
This is
only
what
thing I can
cavemen
maybe
were
get
like.
him to do is
Tarzan.
if I tap my lap, sometimes I can get him to come sit down. That's the only command I've ever seen him follow. He's not very cat-like.
I mean, do
about to
cats
kick you off
Cats
this
don't
table,
give
Tony.
a fuck, dude. Cats
this
are like,
one- this
you can
one
come
really
to
don't
me,
give a shit.
bitch.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
Maybe you can pet me. I don't know if I like it. We'll see.
People constantly misgender
You just
him.
morphed into Deborah.
They misgender him left and right. Like they think he's a girl because he's all big and soft and fluffy and white.
Yeah,
No, see, I knew he was a boy.
He looks feminine, but then his
energy is very masculine.
His energy is just nothing. Look at him.
His confidence in sleeping during our interview said,
Poked
"Man,
his head right into it. Are you gonna come sit here or what?
Do you have animals? Do you own animals?
Just this guy.
Oh, and so when you guys fuck, does he ever try to like, I want to lay here?
Well, he lives here.
Oh,
he likes a
That's
studio
gonna be-
cat."
Have you ever fucked in the studio?
Oh my god,
Yes.
his tail is like on
Have
the
you ever
brim of your
fucked
hat. It's so cute.
On this table?
Yes.
Have you ever fucked in that closet?
That's not a closet. It's more of a cabinet. But
Have you
the
ever fucked
bathroom.
in the cabinet? Oh, bathroom.
Did you clean this table?
Did you jizz on the table?
I
Am
wasn't
sitting
like
in your jizz?
laying on the table. There wasn't like ass crack sweat or anything.
Okay.
One time, my lovely girlfriend and 2 fans sucked me off in that bathroom right there. So that was
How
pretty
do
cool.
you get 3 chicks sucking you off? That's a lot of work. I mean,
You
what do
wanna
the
know
other
what it
ones
was?
do? Is it like, oh, it's like a group lollipop?
You know what it was? There were these
What?
2 girls here just incessantly hitting on me, and I was supposed to hang out with Lena, and then this drug dealer guy stopped by, and he was like, "Hey, here you go," and he gave me this little bag full of fucking Molly and Coke and Zans, just as like a free sample.
In one bag?
Yeah.
Whoa, a free sample.
Yeah, because we had just moved to the block, and the drug dealer watched my podcast and stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I just want to let you know I'm the guy around here." So he gives me this
Nice.
big bag of drugs, and so then I FaceTime Lena with these 2 fangirls, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to do Molly?" And she goes, "Yes." And I'm
She
like,
knew what that meant. Yeah.
and I was like, "All right, well, these girls want to do it with us too." And she was like, "Okay, fuck it." And then I didn't take the Molly, but they did, so that was cool.
Nice.
Giving girls Molly
Really makes them want to
goes
suck
a
your
long
dick.
way. I'm not saying that you should slip it in a
I was
drink
gonna
like
say,
Rick
I
Ross.
was gonna say, I was like,
You should
maybe we
never
could
slip anything
We
in
can
No, 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 no.
restructure that
drink.
sentence. a little bit.
However,
Consent forms were
Molly.
signed.
Maybe
Molly's
offering
fun.
girls Molly, not giving
Exactly,
girls.
yeah.
Offering girls Molly, nice.
I have this Molly IV right here. You might want to.
Should you be
Should you try
interested?
this
Open your
Molly?
coat. I have a selection.
Look at this Molly. You want some?
You guys don't like Molly?
I do.
I love Molly.
I love Molly.
I did it at Lollapalooza like the 32-year-old I am.
Oh, Nana.
And I haven't had any in my possession since that.
I love
the
Molly.
group sex that I'm describing. But I think that if you get it, just have it, then it could be very useful in terms of facilitating.
I know a guy in
Yes.
New York.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, really good guy.
God, I hate buying drugs in New York because the drug dealers are always so sleuth and professional
guy-
and
Oh.
stealth is what I meant
What's
to say,
the
not
word
sleuth.
sleuth mean?
Sleuth
Like
would be like some sort of a detective,
yeah.
yeah. But I meant stealth
Would
because
don't
I
know
feel
at
like
all.
drug dealers in New York are they're so quiet. They're like they drive, they pick you
My
up, they
weed
drive around
guy?
the block.
No
Out
way.
here, they walk in, boom, what's up? Fucking ounce of coke on the table, pints of lean.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
very
My-
different culture in LA.
My weed guy's just like, here you go, out on the street and like front of cops, and I'm like, okay, thanks. No, we don't care.
Is weed like? Well, weed is like that. In New York,
I
kind
smoke
of.
weed on the streets of New York, but also, I mean,
Me too, but I get
you're-
nervous. I'm scared.
yeah. Well, you're a guy, but also you're
And
white.
you also
so I feel
look like you're doing tons of drugs, whereas
I?
Christina,
True.
a little less.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why I get like some cred for being like relatively intelligent is because I look like I'm going to be a total fucking gangbanger retard.
well, you
White boy wannabe type gang
You look
boy.
scary.
Yeah, scary. So
But you're
You
not
think I'm scared?
So
That's
that
right.
means now that I know you, I'm like, you're so sweet. I wouldn't know, like sweet in like as you know, people who are usually described as sweet are different than you. But because I thought you were going to be so like,
Anyone who has
you're
tattoos
just so not. You're kind.
above the shoulder, we're getting into wonky territory where I might be frightened.
Wonky. You guys
Yeah.
are very New York saying wonky a lot.
Zany, crazy.
Hey, can you guys, when you're on the Joe Rogan podcast, can you just be like, we were on this amazing feminist podcast the other day, No Jumper, and just sort of slide it in
This
there.
is a feminist podcast.
If you talk about me on his podcast,
Oh.
my fans will love you guys so much.
Also, like the power of Joe Rogan is in that podcast is amazing.
You guys are about to blow up.
He
You're gonna have Lambos.
He mentioned us on some live YouTube thing. I don't even, because I was looking and all these people texted me and our podcast went like 10 spots up in the chart. I'm like, God damn, Rogan, you are powerful. That's
crazy.
crazy. It's so cool.
Do you think he's interviewing you guys as comedians first or as feminists first?
Probably comedians. I think he's, we've heard that he's, and we've gone back and listened because I'm a narcissist, that he's referenced us on his show.
Really?
And
I think
it's-
more as like movers and shakers.
Yeah, like you don't say just because you're not famous, you can't have a podcast and have it be successful. And then he'll reference like us because we were fucking nobodies when we started it. We were just
Actually, yeah, you guys are a very good example of that because
Yeah.
I always say that as like if you're going to start a podcast and you don't already have like notoriety, your skill set is going to have to be like unbelievable to sort of stand out.
I mean, I do agree, but there are cases where it's not, people
Because
shine.
I think also accidentally are like viral marketing geniuses with that title. Like,
I
it's
mean,
a
that was
powerful
an
title.
accidental.
That was
Adam.
Umber, yeah.
Not accidental, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't think you guys
Well,
realize how good it was going to be.
We've
maybe.
been branding since day one, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
one thing. And I mean, it's also like
important.
I worked in talent management for 5 years. I didn't come into this blindly.
Okay, I'm sorry for diminishing your genius
Thank
of
you for
that title. You're right. You're right.
mansplaining Adam.
Everything I do is intentional. Everything you guys do is accidental. No, I take that back, but that is sort of the
Well, you know-
I would like to sincerely apologize.
Retraction.
And I would like to listen and not speak, which is what I've learned as a
See how easy that
We were
was?
just talking about that.
And we respect him more for it.
I was like seeing like a list of like things you should learn to say more as a man, and that was one of them.
Was nothing on
Tell
the
me
list?
how you feel.
Just shut
She
the
was
fuck
trying
up.
to speak.
Yeah, very good. Oh, damn, that was really impressive.
This
I've
is
never
really
even
pathetic.
heard a man utter those words, to be honest, and it feels so good to hear.
I was saying them in pure jest. So,
well, either
yeah.
way, I'll take what I can get.
Imagine if the cat was sitting on the mouse and he killed the entire podcast. That wouldn't happen. Oh, but the irony of the cat and the mouse would have been pretty. This is funny right here.
Puns, baby.
You see what I'm doing here?
That's
Yeah.
YouTube level. Make a meme.
See, that's Jake Paul. You guys got to get home and research Jake Paul. Have him on.
I guess.
don't.
Is he
Please-
cool? I don't
No.
know.
We'll
He's
be like,
terrible.
hey, we were just trashing
Hey,
you
we
for
heard
an
you're
hour.
a real piece of shit. You want to come on our podcast? Prove
You're a piece of
yourself.
dog shit. I want you guys. That's my wish for 2000. Let's say 18 is that I want you guys to have a solid YouTube presence. And
Okay.
I know I understand the concerns about the comments and everything, but I just feel like it's a very
You're right.
powerful form of promotion because to be honest, there's like the podcast scene and then there's the YouTube scene.
You're-
and
you're right,
I think it's been a big gift for me that I've been able to navigate both.
Yeah.
Because they're both different.
They're different
crowds,
mediums and they have
yeah.
different
But there's such an
vibes.
overlap. Yeah.
But yes, you're
and
right.
YouTube is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
drive people to listen to your shit in the car. You know.
Yeah, no, my boyfriend is always like, you should put your podcast on YouTube and you just need an image.
That's true as well,
Because
yeah.
people at work will listen to it, so blah, blah, blah.
Very true.
And he was going over that and I usually like, I gotta go to a show. I gotta go. And then I forget about it. And we never talk.
If you have a good thumbnail, it doesn't even really matter that much if you don't have the video and it's just
Yeah.
audio.
Maybe it
Yeah.
can just be Lena topless.
Can she
Demonetized.
We'll split all the poor proceeds.
double promotion.
Stop objectifying my girlfriend. God.
But she's so pretty and cool.
Aw, you know, she geeks so hard about the fact that you guys fuck with her because she was like a huge fan up until you met a couple
She
months
has
ago.
like way more followers than
I know. It's an honor.
That's weird. You
I
got,
love
like-
your new stickers, by the way.
Oh my god!
I love the
very
one with your
cute.
wooden thing. I fucking yes.
And it's on both
Can
of
I
your
say-
phones, and it's so sweet.
All
This
her
is
like
the
famous
best.
YouTuber friends have it on their phones too, which really freaks me out.
I've never said the word hashtag couple goals, but until I saw this sticker. Seriously, it's
She
a
made
really
me
good
that.
one.
That was our 1 year anniversary present.
Very sweet. You guys are both very intelligent and kind.
And it's me wearing her merchandise as
I
well,
know,
which
I
is
love
nice.
I
yeah.
have that shirt. I said she literally gave me the shirt off her back. I wanted that shirt. She didn't have any left, and she gave me hers. Aww. So sweet.
That's beautiful. She's actually in the famous gay YouTuber Elijah Daniel I was referencing before. She's his video girl in his video
cool.
because he has taken on the rap name Lil Fag, Phag.
I love that.
And so he's doing his first music video today, which is
Yes.
because he
Those
has
little,
he has-
little
Perfect.
fag ladies.
yeah, he has a
That's
very
amazing.
badass image. He's got a lot of tattoos and jewelry and stuff now too. So I think the whole rapper thing it
That's
could
funny.
be perfect.
Yeah, that's I'm
And
excited
also,
to
if
see
he
that.
does well, it's nice to have people from different backgrounds and different sexual orientations in the rap world.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
great. More women and more little fags.
Rest in peace, Lil Peep, who was openly
Yes.
bisexual, very rare
Oh,
within
he
our
was?
community.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn.
Yeah.
And had like a publicized relationship with McConan and Bella
Whoa.
Thorne, like fucking.
Whoa.
He was out there on the scene, dude. Like
Man.
a lot of people from our
I
scene.
mean, Frank Ocean. I mean, he's not a rapper, but like, I fucking love. Oh, I love Frank Ocean, and I also love that he's openly gay.
Frank Ocean, I'm convinced, is a big fan of me.
You're convinced?
Now, why?
I have a lot of little
What's your
like
evidence?
components, little
Okay.
things. He
Such
did a
as?
song called "Biking," and as soon as he was about to shoot the video, like a week before he shot the video, like I got a call like immediately, like, "Hey, this is assistant. We're casting the video." Like I got the call right away. I thought that was interesting. And then he has his
Ooh.
radio show, and a
Oh, he
lot
does?
of it's a Beats One type thing, or he
okay.
put out one time or something at the very least. But there was like multiple songs. Like he put one of my like employees' songs on it, and like a few other things
okay,
that I
okay,
was
okay.
kind of like, And people have told me they've seen him walking by outside and stuff too.
Really?
So I really want to be friends with him, you know?
Valentine's Day card.
Me too.
If he's watching this, Frank Ocean, let's hang out. I don't listen to his music or anything,
Me
but he
too.
seems
I
cool.
also like you, Frank Ocean. I would love to hang out with you as well.
Is there anybody you guys want to put out into the universe like that you want to spend time with?
Beyonce.
Oh, well, there you go.
Kesha.
Kesha.
Do you know her?
Yeah, well, not personally.
And I want to hang out with Lil Wayne.
I was
so bad.
Are you familiar with her? Adam, do you know about Kesha?
Do you know her?
I want to hang out with Lil Wayne.
Beyonce, you're setting the standard pretty high. That's
Victoria
I feel like
Beckham.
she doesn't hang out with a ton of people, or maybe you have to just sign NDAs so we don't hear about it.
That's fine. I don't care.
I don't know that No Jumper's a big Victoria Beckham hub, but you
Probably
know.
not. But it might. You don't know.
I
don't know.
I could see her son Brooklyn listening to this.
Oh yeah.
I know a girl who did some consulting for Kanye, and she told me farts a ton.
Adam, everybody farts.
Right.
A ton.
But I don't know. There's something about Kanye being, famous and
Perfect.
rich, and he's got this beautiful wife and these kids. And I'm
Hey,
just
she
thinking,
farts
maybe be low key with the farts. But she said he was just letting them out in the middle of meetings and shit because he just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, no, he's so overly confident.
I like that.
That I could absolutely believe that he just farts all the time.
And if you have everything, if you've got the wife, you got the money, you got the fame, what do you not have? Like maybe just at a certain point, you're like, you know what? Like it's
I'm
worth
gonna
it. I'm
fart
gonna
now.
fart. I'm gonna be me.
yeah, he's
How scary is that? Can you imagine
gastrointestinal comfort.
farting in a business meeting out like real loud and just? I would be so nervous. That'd be the
God.
most nervous.
I ate
ever
a
be.
sandwich during a big meeting the other day, and I felt like
that's
that
not
was kind of badass. Well, they were all wearing suits and shit. I'm just sitting there with my employee, my
Was
little
it a
Asian
sloppy
girl
Joe?
employee, Kim, and we're just both rah, 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 just loudly eating
that's
these
funny.
huge sandwiches. She was super embarrassed about it. I'm like, Kim, do it.
Just eat that shit.
Kim, you're
fucking
hungry. Eat that sandwich.
Kim.
Everybody's got to eat.
Kim, you're 95 pounds soaking wet. Eat the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, should we wrap this up? We just hit the hour and a half mark. I feel like that's usually what I'm going for.
Yeah, that's great. I had a really good time.
I had a
Is there
great
anything
time.
else you want to know about us or any questions that you haven't covered?
Any help you need?
I don't know. I feel like we know each other pretty well at this point.
Yeah.
Do you have any relationship issues? Or is
Or
everything
dick
perfect?
issues or I don't
That's
know.
our area of expertise.
Yeah, that's what we're good
The
at.
dick is definitely fine. I don't know. We're going to Miami in a couple days, and that's going to be really interesting because she's got like some little there's some opportunities I think planned out there. So there could be some
like
some spicy
sexual
stuff.
opportunities.
Hotties in Miami.
She's so in the cam girl world that she's just linking and building with different cam girls and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
and Miami's the hub for hotties.
Oh, so many hotties.
I've never been there as like an adult, and especially not an adult with any sort of clout. So now I'm out there. I got the
Oh,
girlfriend
you're probably
with
gonna
me.
get
She's-
a lot of people going.
And like a lot of nice different body types. Miami is one of the most body positive cities I've ever
Yeah,
been to. And it's
I
also
love
like
it.
I think it'll be refreshing coming from LA, which is like stick thin, and then going to Miami and it's voluptuous.
Oh, and I'm hosting a Cardi B show there. That's the whole thing
What?
too.
You buried
And
the
Kodak
headline.
Black, yeah.
You buried the headline.
I forgot.
Congratulations.
I buried
That's
the lead.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
Tell
a,
us that, hey.
that's a very good journalistic reference. I like that you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was that your attempt at feminism?
Oh, and now I'm mansplaining. Now I'm mansplaining again by giving you credit for saying something that I thought was smart.
I wrote a goddamn half of a book, Adam.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to listen.
So, hey guys, you can follow
So
us
this
on
is,
social media at Sorry About Last Night. Our book, Fucked, Being Sexually Explorative and Self-Confident in a World That's Screwed, is available online, in stores, for your
Hardcover.
ears.
That book
Audio
title
book.
is so like I have a podcast and I wrote a book.
Damn.
That's because that's exactly what happened.
Damn.
Do you guys want to Facetune the thumbnail before this comes out? Are you those types of girls?
What's that
or-
mean?
You don't know about
Face
Facetune?
tuning. We've been talking.
People have been saying that word, and I'm
Nonstop.
just nodding like,
Since we've got
Really?
it's like a Photoshop that you go like this to your photo and it makes your face look better.
You zoom in on your
I'm so
cheek,
a-
you
so a
smooth your cheek
filter?
out. You
A
like
filter.
No,
you
but
could
it's
fix
more
everything
than that.
about how you
could
look.
like make your face thinner if you wanted to.
No,
you
I
could
like
take
my
your
face.
waist,
I'm
carve it in a
against
little
it.
bit.
I like my body
Because I don't want people to be disappointed in real life. I
wanna
want to
be
pleasantly
Christina
surprise
tuned.
them.
See, that's the weird thing for
Yeah.
Lena because she doesn't do a lot of the Facetune stuff at all.
She
but
don't
then
need to.
she hangs out with a lot of girls who are like really pretty, but they
Oh,
do
they're
it as
busted
well.
in real life?
I mean,
Oh,
I'm not
they're
gonna
pretty.
say
They're pretty.
busted, but there might be somewhere else on the spectrum, and then they use Facetune to make themselves look like
Yeah.
30% hotter.
Right, but that's bad because then when people meet you in real life, they're disappointed.
Yeah.
Or they're like, wait, who are you?
And it's not
I'm
you, and
waiting
it's
for
also
Brianna.
feeding into this culture where people just scroll on Instagram and feel bad about themselves, and I don't want to be a part of that.
I know.
Yeah.
So
So
many
kudos
gr-
You need,
to Lena.
Yeah.
you need non-attractive people, first of all, because then attractive people wouldn't be attractive. If everyone was fucking attractive, they'd just be people.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, we're fucking comedians. We're not in the business of beauty.
Right.
It's just a bonus that we all are. So cute.
My beauty is my brain.
It's hard to be like a white, attractive 30-year-old, white male comedian these days. I don't know if I
was was like, what is being white?
I don't think anybody wants to
White
hear
people
stand-up
age,
comedy from me. Like even if I were to try to do that, I feel like
you're not that hot. Don't worry.
Not like I know, but the tattoo thing I think is what does it.
Women couldn't resist, and they just start fucking me on stage, and
Yeah, it
I'd
was
be like,
weird.
"You
I'm getting my
guys."
dick grabbed while I'm on stage.
No, but in all
might.
seriousness, I think because you're like alternative hot, that people would be more open to it. I think
Yeah.
like a classic like boat shoes wearing blonde haired
Ugh.
hottie is
Right.
dangerous
Dane
territory.
Cook, I felt like it was always
cute.
like he drew a line in the sand for comedy for a long time. I feel like.
Well, Trevor Noah
Yeah.
is one of the most attractive human beings I've ever met in my life, and it is I can't talk to him. He's so hot.
Really?
I can't talk to him. And I watched the Daily Show, and his stand-up specials are fucking amazing.
See, now you understand how we as men feel talking to almost any woman.
I know, but that's like any woman. That's not for me.
It
It's
is
like
funny.
one
But just
person,
understand
Trevor
that
Noah.
our standards are different in the sense that
Low,
we could be
very low.
intoxicated by the attractiveness of a very gigantic percentage of the female population.
I
I've noticed
wish.
that. It
I
it
wish.
amuses me.
Every girl's hot.
I
That's my
wish-
motto. I tell Lena that all the time. Every girl's hot.
That must make her feel
But they're
good.
not, though.
Literally, Lena, you could be anyone right now. I
No.
want to put my dick in you.
And I've said things while I was
I'll put
fucked
my
up.
dick in anything with a pussy.
One time I was like alluding to like hooking up with some girl and she was like, I really don't think she's attractive. And I just like wasn't thinking and I just said what I was actually thinking. I was like, yeah, you can still get head though. And she was just like horrified because she could tell how much I meant it.
Yeah, with the casualness with which you said.
I dug myself a little hole right there.
Doesn't matter if she's
But
a 1 or
that's-
a 10, it still feels the same when my dick's in her mouth.
It's all pink on the inside. Hi, you know what I'm saying?
Ugly girls' mouths feel the same. Spoiler alert.
That's a there needs to be more jokes like that within your little comedic realm. It's like, haha, they're all pink on the inside.
Well, that's why I joked about how if I was ever on the cover of Paper Magazine, I want it to be a photo of the inside of my cervix.
Oh wow,
Let's get hot.
that's
Are
how
you
you're gonna
horny
one
at
up.
them?
That's how you're gonna one up Nicki Minaj. with the whole-
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah. Well, you're gonna get that Paper Magazine cover.
Thank you, and it is going to be the inside of my cervix.
Also-
If it's not, I'm going to be pissed.
No, it is. It's going to be.
I just like the idea that like Paper Magazine for some reason is this like respected like media institution. Now any magazine that still actually puts out a print edition, like for some reason there's the prestige of being on the cover, even though everybody
know.
knows that nobody's going to see it besides the shot of it on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they're called Paper Magazine.
offense.
There has to be a physical copy, otherwise.
What's the point?
Yeah,
I
they
see
shouldn't
these
even have
rappers and
one.
they're like, "Oh, I'm on the cover of Fader," and I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like,
What's that?
you do not have a relationship with Fader. Stop lying. I know you've never read an issue of Fader.
Yeah. I mean, also too, it's like, oh, you're gonna be doing an interview with like this big news outlet, and he's like, but for online. I'm like, well, it still counts.
Yeah. I remember that when I first moved here, and it was very much like, oh, she's in Playboy, the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. This is
I love
really
you
fun.
guys. You
we
guys are
love
great.
you.
I love
You're
you
fucking
too.
great.
Amazing.
We
Lena's
love
great.
you. We love Tony.
We love Tony. Love the
at
whole
him.
family.
He's trying to escape already.
Bye,
Tony.
Tony.
Gonna burrow
Your
his way
butthole
out of
looks
here.
mad bleach tones.
We
Tony.
did. That's how we started this. We bleached the cat's butthole to start this
It's like,
podcast. For
it's like,
anybody,
Full circle.
if
it's
you're
like
hearing that
powder
now,
is winking
go
at
back to
me.
the beginning and watch the whole thing again because you missed it the first time. Amazing. Go check out their podcast. Check them out on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's on the screen. It's in the description, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Figure it out.
Thank
All right.
you, Adam.
Thank you, ladies.
That was so
Appreciate
much
you.
fun.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Also, the most woke podcast in the world now.
Yo, that's pretty legit.
Yay.
Thank you,
I
ladies.
exploded.
I'm ballin' like an athlete, but got no